Hi, and welcome to the Wild Wild West podcast. My name is Richie Richey of the MHRT Network. Now I got the chapeau on, not a toque, because it is not the proper Canadian attire. But we got a good show for you here today. Got some interesting stuff to talk about. A bit of a recap of the 2025 2026 ish season for some of us. It didn't really happen for my Broncos, sadly, but again, interesting season nonetheless. And we're also going to be talking about some coaching changes because we got coaching changes for all of our teams actually on the podcast here, and also on the Chiefs. But that we already covered that last week with Eric Bieniemy coming back for the KC Chiefs. Over that away is DZ representing his Los Angeles Chargers, and down below, sporting the blue, red, and white, is Navman representing his Las Vegas Raiders. And so we're going to get right into it today. We're going to start going around the table here, talking about our various topics. DZ, we'll start off with you. And we were just talking about this before the show. Yes, I do sport the Queen's English, which means that your name is DZ. And I totally respect the fact that those of you who are south of the border where I am here in Canada, that is DZ. But I'm going to stay true to the British roots here in Canada.
I like the DZ. It adds a little bit.
Pronounce it the right way.
It adds a little bit of a cool factor. At least you're not saying aluminium. You know what I mean? Like you picked up some of the Queen's English, or do you say aluminium?
No, I'm not that stupid.
All right, thank you.
No,
aluminium is actually the right way to say it, though.
Nav,
it is actually. I agree.
Him out. Deport him now.
I'm just saying.
The torch, a lift. What is there? What do they call a car park? They got all kinds of different. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before last week's show, I was
real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Richie.
Real quick. One thing that I do think should be widely adopted in North America, because I actually think it kind of makes sense, the British English and stuff, is they call fries chips.
Yeah.
And then they call chips crisps.
Yep.
Crisps.
Which then they call cookies biscuits.
Yeah, well, that's just messed up. But the point is that at least crisps and chips I can kind of get behind because it's fish and chips when you have that kind of makes sense. And then crisp makes a lot of sense because they're very, very crunchy. And so it all makes sense, actually, in reality.
I agree.
And then muffins in the States, or probably maybe Canada, I don't know, are scones there. So
no, scones are completely different. Don't cross the two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They call our muffins. They're like, "Is this a scone?" And we're like, "No, it's a muffin."
Well,
dude.
No, because my understanding is they actually don't have what we traditionally have as muffins there. Scones is a completely separate,
right?
Cake-like thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a muffin. It is a scone is uniquely different. And you come to like the States or Canada, we have both.
A scone is a turnover, bro. It's an apple turnover. That's a scone. Much.
Theirs aren't as sweet. They don't put as much sweet stuff on their scones like we do, like our stuff. But anyways, whatever.
Hey, real quick, Ardell, good to see you, bro. The comedy has begun on the Raiders side of things. Ardell is here.
I just had chicken strips tonight. There we go.
And Ardell is a veteran, so it's gonna be a unique, interesting show with Ardell in the house. So, and then Big Luck, 1776. Enough said.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Change the language.
I actually had ancestors fight in the Revolution.
Me too.
True story.
Yep.
It was,
that's
neat.
fact. They all died. I mean, most of them, or otherwise I wouldn't be here. if all of them did. I'm just saying.
You want here real quick? I know it's a sports show, but supposedly how the story goes, on one side of my family, there's two brothers. They fought. They were British sailors,
Yeah.
and they got captured by the Revolutionary Americans. And that
Yeah.
back then, if you got captured, they're like, "Hey, we're either going to kill you or you're going to fight with us." And so they were like, "Okay, well, we don't want to die. We're going to fight with you guys." And I guess they did that for a while, and then supposedly how the story goes, mind you, this is a couple hundred years ago, or 250 or 200 some odd plus years ago. They
250.
I mean, it's their birthday this year, right?
Yeah.
They escaped to what is modern day West Virginia. So they were like, "Nah, we're done fighting," and then they hightailed it to the mountains of West Virginia, supposedly.
Nice. They started. You got here because they decided to go away.
They're probably like, "Man, we don't want to fight.
We don't want to fight,
guys."
damn. I mean, we'll fight, but God, this is ridiculous.
And then there's some Civil War stuff too about actually brothers fighting brothers. That's interesting too, but that's a whole nother day.
Hey, who's this AJ Miles dude? Somebody dump this dude immediately, please. Somebody get rid of that dude.
Somebody says I look like Kubiak.
You're a motherfucker. You're a motherfucker. Oh, sorry. I said that out loud. My bad.
Davis wants to pay me. Well, he's going to pay Kubiak. I'll come to Las Vegas.
Get rid of that fucking guy. Come on. I can't add stuff like. I mean,
Ardell's comment.
What'd he say?
Richie can still look down on the inbred fur traders.
So, number one, my family are my dad's side of the family are like this, like really like rare, weird lineage from Great Britain or what is now known as England, and there has not been a male on my dad's side of the family under 6 foot for like 5 or 6 generations. They're just like enormous human beings going all the way back, like just like very, very large humans. And then my mom's family is all Irish. So basically internally inside myself, half of me wants to kill the other half.
That's kind of funny. If you know, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And here's the weird part. My dad, Native American, born in the 1930s, right? So, I mean, and actually was able to get into the military. He's actually a Native American, right? Seminole, to be honest with you. Full-blooded Seminole. Now, my mother is Irish. Could you imagine those conversations before I was born? So, yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. That would be that'd be a little different.
And Jack Ken says, there you go.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and get right into it. We're going to do a full season recap, and we'll start with you, DZ there.
Really, we got to rehash the damn season.
Well, in fairness, if we're going to be honest, despite your setbacks as a team, like if I'm you, I'm pretty happy with how my coaching and how my team generally did overall. I mean, sure, when you got into the backlog part of the season there in the playoffs, it didn't end as I'm sure you guys were hoping.
It was like deja vu.
But at the end of the day, you guys finished with a record that if most teams lost the players that you lost, would never have been where you were at, period.
There's probably only a few teams that could overcome some stuff like that. And that goes with probably leadership, I think that goes with Jim. Jim is, when people look at Jim Harbaugh, he is one of his claims to fame is, he wasn't known for being a great NFL quarterback. He was kind of like a blue collar. He was decent. He was decent.
he brought the Colts from somewhere that they've never been before.
Yeah.
Before like Johnny Unitas and all that shit.
Right.
He literally took them to the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh was the Derek Carr of the Raiders.
The way that's kind of a good comp. The way I see Jim is he was like a blue collar lunch pail quarterback. Yep. He wasn't one of these dudes that came out of college that was like everybody was like, oh my God, kind of thing over. But and then go into his coaching. He started at the really small program, but just to make a long story short, his claim to fame is not necessarily being an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. He is a team builder. He builds through his staff. He is what they like to call him like a kingmaker, essentially. So he knows how to pick guys and bring certain guys in together. Now, I wish he would have quit his boy, Greg Roman, because he was attached to Greg a little too long. And, unfortunately, we went through 2 years with Greg Roman. I wouldn't say he's terrible, but it's like, dude, it's like it's that meme, man. You got a Ferrari in a parking lot of a trailer park and you're not using it, kind of thing. And that's kind of what Greg was doing with Justin. It's just not using him. They tried to make the offense go do something completely different, and then most of the season was playing YOLO ball and relying on the defense. And I'm not 100 on the stats, but you go into the playoffs with the 32nd ranked offensive line and the 24th ranked offense. And then your defense is playing statistically in the top 10 to top 5 in all categories. So I don't want to see that again. I think you need to be more of a balanced team on all three sides of the ball. I don't know where our special teams finished, but it hasn't been good these last 2 years. Am I missing comments?
No. Well, it's the normal comment. Richie looks like Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much normal. That's a normal one.
Hang on, I gotta put my laptop plug in.
Oh shit. Oh shit. He's like, oh hell, my laptop's dying. Okay.
Anyways, where do we leave off? So yeah, that's to go back to Richie's point. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's not many teams that can withstand what they lost and still compete and still, get into the playoffs. Should they have been in there? Probably not. Should they have gone farther? Probably so. Like, there's many ways to look at this. There's, would a better offensive coordinator or a better offensive line coach helped? I'm thinking so. That's probably why they fired the two. Jim that was probably a tough decision for Jim to be like, hey, Greg, we've been together. Every stop I've been in the NFL,
yep.
I got to let you go, bro. And that was a smart decision, because I guarantee you, if he didn't do that, the fan base would have revolted. I mean, other than Greg,
yep.
Harbaugh and McDaniels have some nerdy meetings I wouldn't mind listening to. Dude, I'd love to be on the fly in the wall with that.
There's going to be some nerdy fucking meetings.
Yeah. No, there was a guy on Instagram that made the best. He made the best like skit of dressing up as Mike McDaniel and dressing up as Jim Harbaugh. It was absolutely hilarious, and it was dead nuts of how good it was.
You gotta love that, though. You gotta love that Mike McDaniel freaking rolled in the door, though.
Yeah, and one of the thing about him is we don't know how long he'll be there, which is kind of like the bummer side about it, because I think he's.
Do you know what I'd love to see?
What's that?
I'd love to see Harbaugh and McDaniels, because they're both khaki guys.
Or jogger.
No. McDaniel's is a freaking capri guy. He likes wearing capri.
Well, look, you can have one of them wearing the women's size capris and khaki, and you can have Jim Harbaugh come in men's khakis. and then you can have the joke on who wore it best and have them match, right? Because literally that is their jam. Like they are both khaki people. It just
I
is
would
what it
lose
is.
it in this with this summer if I see Jim come out in joggers. Like I would absolutely lose it.
No, he's come out there in some freaking search and rescue pants, like those short, really short shorts. You know,
What do they
funny.
call them?
That
Those,
Jim-
what do you call them? I have some. What the hell are they called? They're not the brand Softies makes them most of. They're man, your nuts hang out of them. What are they called?
I don't know. We call them SAR pants.
They're like silkies or
Silkies. I don't know. I don't know what
Dude,
silkies
I
are.
can
That
honestly
sounds
tell
about right.
you, I couldn't tell you what brand makes that crap, and I've never owned a pair. And then lastly, I never will.
it's what the military wear. It's like what they
Yeah,
they're just
they're khaki. They're khaki shorts, but they're super short.
okay. So the ones you're talking about, okay, I'm talking about the ones that they used to work out in, which are like a lighter fabric. The ones you're talking about, I know what those are. I don't know, not those. Those are a little too tight.
Not those. Not those.
No, I know which ones you're talking about. Those khaki ones. That was like
Maybe McDaniel will get freaking Jim Harbaugh freaking get his freaking nuts down, you know, and just say, dude, just be you, bro. Let's go.
The one thing that's kind of like listening to McDaniel, he's his pressers, he did his little media run. You know, from the outside looking in when he was with the Dolphins, it was kind of fun to poke fun of him. Well, like everybody's doing the chat. I was doing the same thing too. Yes, Ranger panties. There you go. Thank you, Ardell.
Ranger panties.
That's another
that's Army. That's an Army term.
Yeah, all branches wear them.
Ardell is Army. So
I have a couple pairs of them and all colors. They're fun to work out in, especially squats, you know. Let the boys hang out.
Fun to work out in? Fun?
I work out at home, so I don't have, so I don't have to worry about anybody else.
You're a Peloton. You're a Peloton guy.
I do have a Peloton, but I'll tell you this: we have a Peloton, and I can't stand riding it because, man, it makes me sore where the sun don't shine, and I'm not a fan of that. Like, I'm like, no, I'll walk on the treadmill.
Yeah,
but going through all this McDaniel stuff, I've watched all his pressers. I've been really impressed by him. More impressed by his pedigree, who he's come up with, and it's surprising or not, him and Jim are very similar, like super similar in their philosophy and like what they want, like run scheme. And it's going to be interesting because they have this whole season or this offseason to work on this offense, but how they're going to marry a power and zone scheme. Because Jim said, he's like, look, man, I don't want to get rid of my philosophy how to run the ball, but I don't want you to get rid of your zone philosophy on how you run the ball. So they're going to try to marry the two, do some sort of hybrid stuff. It'll be interesting, and we'll tell a lot by with the personnel they bring over, and they're still looking through the offensive staff of who's staying and who's going. Luckily, Minter, Jesse leaving for Baltimore, he hasn't, knocked on wood. Yes, he probably would. But Minter hasn't poached any of the staff, which I thought was going to happen. Now, free agency, he could still grab some players. I think they have like this gentleman agreement, like, hey, I'm going to leave to be a head coach, but don't worry, I'm not going to poach the staff kind of thing, which I'm also surprised because before last week's show, I was like, oh, they just interviewed, like right before our show, they just interviewed Chris O'Leary, who, when I saw that, I was like, who? Chris O'Leary? I was like, sounds familiar. Who is that?
Oh, yeah.
And then 4 hours later, right after our show, they hired him as the new DC, which I think caught the fan base by surprise. But from the looks of it, this was their plan all along, which was kind of surprising.
should not have been a surprise.
Well,
I mean, the surprise is that it's him, but that dude, let me tell you something. He's got a freaking great record.
well, it looks like he's just this young up and comer. And when I mean young, he could be next season the youngest DC in the league next season. There is a guy younger by a few days or weeks who is the DC for Arizona, but Arizona just got a new head coach. So he's probably bringing in a whole new staff. So if that guy's out, Chris O'Leary becomes the youngest DC next season, which is good and bad. I mean, the dude's going to be 34. Like, I'm like, okay. Like, but then the secondary guys love him. So I'm like, I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting. He's only has 1 year of play calling, which was at a MAC school, Western Michigan, which he turned that program away in a big time. I mean, I think they were like one of the tops in defense in all of college last season.
Right.
And he was our safeties coach in 24. And before that, he was with Notre Dame for a few years.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. And what he has said is that he wants to keep what Jesse has done, kind of, he doesn't want to, fix what's not broke, but he wants to add his own flavor. Now I've been going at it in some of my Charger chats. I'm like, cause he ran a 4.3 at Western Michigan. And I'm like, and some of the guys are like, oh yeah, he's going to go to a 4.3. And I'm like, is he though? Like you change up some personnel going to a 4.3.
Well, you're doing that at Western Michigan.
Right. That was my point.
I'm pretty sure the dude knows what cover is.
Of course, he knows exactly what all the different coverages and stuff are.
Well, I'm just talking about base. I'm just talking about a base, guys. Just first, second down. I'm not talking about nickel or dime or anything.
Advanced scouting.
But
yes.
Right, but the problem that you end up with is that if a coach, and this is the quirk. So, for example, Vance Joseph came in and tried to maintain the Vic Fangio style of defense when he was here.
Right.
And it did not work really well because he was trying to kind of like force a style that he wasn't like particularly personally comfortable with. And that is something to consider though, DZ, as an example. Like a DC will want to run kind of what they know inside out and backwards.
Right.
Because then they can bring in personnel. They kind of know what they're scouting for. They know how to run it. They know the situational football behind that scheme. And I think that that's really important for you and your team and your fans to kind of consider is he might claim to try to stick with what Minter was doing, and he may well do his level best of doing it. But if you see a drop off in your defensive production compared to where you were last year, don't be surprised if you start seeing a shift in scheme to fit what Odell is comfortable with running so that he can then adapt, or Leary rather, to see what he's capable of doing. And then he'll start making personnel changes the year after.
Well, this is my thought. And you make good points. Every young guy or coach has an ego, right? So I'm assuming, this guy, he's going to be 34. He's going to be defensive coordinator. He's going to be taking over for a top 10 defense, these last 2 years. He's going to want to put his spin on it, his flavor. But at the same time, he is a Minter disciple. He started out, as a young GA, I think at Georgia or Georgia Tech or something with, coaching under Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter was the DC and the linebackers coach. Yep. So this is what he's come up at. And this is the same thing with Mike McDonald in Seattle. They're all pretty much running the same kind of scheme. Now they're putting their own spin, their own play calling. And he did say some stuff in the pressers. He was adamant of not wanting to give anything away. He's like, look, I'm not going to say much. Just say that, I'm not going to be changing this drastically or dramatically, which I'm concerned about because I like what Minter ran last year. Minter ran a base 3-4 hybrid, meaning it wasn't always a 3-4. They would play a 4-3 sometimes in first and second down. They would sprinkle it in because they would run 3-4 or 4-3, and that's usually on first and second downs
Yeah.
And it was quote unquote a hybrid scheme. And if you look around the league, it's split up into threes. There's, 1/3 of the league runs a 4-3, 1/3 of the league runs a 3-4, and then you have a few set of teams, which is a little less than 1/3, run a hybrid scheme, and that's what Minter did, and I like that, and I think that's what they should continue with and carry it over. But now there's question marks with Odafe Owe, who we traded for from the Ravens for a 5th-round pick. He's a free agent. And then Khalil Mack, is he coming back, or is he retiring, or is he going to run it back one more year with somebody else?
I don't think he's great. I don't think retiring is in Mack's future. At this
we
point.
don't know. We don't know. It's all up in there.
7th year, 8th year.
Ooh, I'm not at the top of my head. I'm not entirely sure.
What Khalil Mack?
I mean,
anyways, but I
mean, keep going, bro. I'm digging.
So yeah, so like I said kind of earlier, I will kind of get the feeling of where he wants to go by the personnel decisions they make in this offseason with free agency and the draft. Because, outside of like Tuli Pilotu, who is just at that joke of a Pro Bowl, which I did not watch, which I think the Pro Bowl is dead, and that's a whole nother conversation. It's a freaking joke. But, we don't have any D ends. We have edge players. We have edge guys.
True.
We don't have any, hand in the dirt dudes. I mean, Tuli can play that. And then we did have, 12 years in the league. Yeah. That's a long time. But
at his position, that is 12 years is not like retirement level.
Yeah. So but look, he think he can run it back with another D coordinator? I mean, yeah, he'll be in a similar, or does he go?
I think he just sticks.
Or does he go like, hey, I might want to go to Chicago. Maybe I want to go to Baltimore. Maybe, something like that.
I don't like either one of what you just said. If
those are ties to him, in my opinion.
If Khalil Mack goes anywhere, it's not going to be the Raiders. I promise you that.
I think he's sour against the Raiders.
What would be really bad is if he just goes, Broncos are offering me $10 million for 2 years. And that would be terrible.
I don't think the Broncos have any free agents at their edge spot, just their linebackers.
Just one.
I don't. I've been looking at free agency, and I'm not really too stoked on it. I mean, there's still some good guys, but
Khalil Mack could play linebacker too. Just so you know,
they did have him dropping coverage a lot, which I thought was silly. But I mean, they did have him do some stuff. He can still play. I mean, look, dude, the guy had his elbow this season bent backwards. Yeah, like it was gross.
And they wouldn't even show it on TV.
And he came back in 4 weeks. The guy has Wolverine blood. Like he is not regular human.
He's not that.
I mean, but he's been making quite a lot of money on these 1 year, 2 year deals that he's been getting with the Chargers. So like I said, it's going to be interesting to see personnel wise what Chris O'Leary does. They still need to get a linebackers coach. We lost Navarro Bowman. He's going to focus on his son, who's like a top basketball player in California. So it looks like the rest of the defensive staff is going to kind of stay for the mean. That's what it looks like. But
so in the chat, there's a lot of shit going up in the chat, Richie. If I'm a big fan of what's going on in the chat there. Yeah, but
Singleton and Stranad.
Yeah,
both free agents for the Broncos.
I think Singleton and Stranad, yeah.
And the Broncos will probably let them both walk because they got some UDFAs coming out of the He'll be like, "Thank you for your time. We got 3 guys over here that have been itching to play, and they'll be Pro Bowlers."
I don't think Khalil Mack goes anywhere.
I hope not. I enjoy him. I like his leadership, and he's not as he doesn't have that speed anymore, right? And that comes with age, but he still has the power. He can still bull rush dudes right back into the quarterback, and which cleans up for another guy. So, they'll have some decisions because, like, I know with the Raiders and the Titans, the Chargers as well have quite a large amount of cap space, but at the same time, they have a lot of guys.
About 130 million by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, are you talking about with the new increase?
No, that's without that.
So the only time I heard 130 for the Raiders is the potential departure of Max.
No, we have several 1-year players that are going to be removed,
right?
And some of them are 8 million, 6 million apiece.
Okay.
So by the time it's all said and done, it'll be 130 million plus the increase to the cap. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, and you know what, Nav? Like, I've looked at so many different sites for cap space, and nobody can come to the consensus of what's right and what's wrong. Like,
even Spotrac doesn't have a clear picture. I mean, right now, as the Raiders stand on 118 million.
And that's through who? It was at PFF?
That's Spotrac.
Okay.
118 million below the cap.
So I saw those numbers, and then I also saw on PFF they have their own numbers. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. So from PFF, and this was like on January 27th. I don't subscribe to PFF because I'm not paying for that monthly, but one of my guys in my Charger chat does. So it was the Chargers, which is surprising, at 103. And then it was Titans at 96 and Raiders at 88. So I'm like, how does this make sense? This is the discrepancy we're seeing between different sites. I don't get it.
I think they do that off what the cap hit is.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it will become more clear as this offseason goes. We'll kind of start seeing. Yeah.
No question.
And then one other hire is Mike McDaniel brought over his O-line guy from Miami. He looks like he's bounced around in the league a little bit. He was an assistant with the Broncos. He had 14 years of college coaching before he came into the NFL. And my verdict's still out on this guy. He can't be any worse than Mike Devlin. I hope, fingers crossed. Mike Devlin was an absolute disaster. He might as well have been Pete Carroll's son. You know what I mean? Like, Devlin was horrible.
That's saying a lot right there.
Yeah, and the guy's resume has been that way his whole career, yet he's still getting jobs. Like, he works for Mossad or something. I'm like, how is he still being employed? But anyways, this Butch Berry guy, from what I'm hearing from some insiders, they're like, hey, man, he did pretty well with what he had to work with in Miami. Miami wasn't really investing in the O-line. And I think in 23 and 24 or 24 and 25, one of those two, they, some of this has to do with their personnel with the running backs, but they were like first and third in yards per carry. So I'm kind of crediting that a lot to McDaniel and A-Chain and some of their running backs, but they were still kind of a subpar in the sacks and things like that. If we can clean that up, that'd be great. But for the meanwhile, that's pretty much in the coaching world for the Chargers. New DC, new O-line coach. Still need. There's probably going to be some additions and subtractions, as we get closer to, like I would say, the combine. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's not a guarantee, Lakem or however you say your name but yeah, there's no guarantee there would be success for McDaniels in LA. But
he's been successful in most stops in his NFL career, so it's kind of difficult. Like on the offensive side of the ball, it's kind of difficult to count him out. The question is he going to have the support in terms of the player and personnel within
Right.
the organization to get
Yep.
what he needs to kind of adjust to get what he wants and
And
how he wants to run his offense.
One thing, Richie, that like when you think of Mike, because we go off of what he's done lately in Miami, is Miami was a track team, like all over the place. It was Waddle, Tyreek, A-Chain. I mean, even some of their other supporting cast, weapon wise, they were just a track team. And when Tyreek was healthy, it was like, oh my God. And obviously Tua, the low man on that totem pole.
Tua's third string quarterback as listed on the depth chart.
Yeah. Right, I think I got a feeling Miami just eats his contract and they're just
Miami's gonna just go, they're going under for a while. Yeah. Luckily, they're the Dolphins. They can go under.
But I think Mike, this is going to be beneficial for him being under Jim in LA. And if he can get this offense rocking and rolling and they can do some damage in the playoffs, which has been the whole, point to this, is Jim wants to win a Lombardi. He wants to have 1-1. He's got a natty. He wants a Lombardi. Every Chargers fan would give their left nut and their firstborn child for a Lombardi right now. We are one of the 12 teams that don't have a Super Bowl win. So if he can do this and learn how to build a staff that Jim has been able to do, he is still aspiring to be a head coach, and I could see him being a head coach somewhere in the next, 1 or 2 seasons. I'd hope he sticks around for a couple seasons and they have somebody learn under him. But, he's one of those like savant kind of guys, like a McVay and a Shanahan type, so I don't know how easy it is that you can just have somebody like, hey, learn from him.
You can't actually, like Kyle Shanahan at this point, you can't actually throw savant on him. You know what I mean?
I think McVay to me is kind of like one of those, like, I'm just like, every time you hear him talk ball, I'm just like, whoa.
No, but, I got this. I have an issue with this tree thing.
Yeah, I mean,
tree. Where did you come from?
Well, like Richie said it about Fangio earlier, like his tree about Vance Joseph. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people are running that Fangio style, but they just couldn't.
The same place.
They just couldn't do it as best as Vic did it in certain areas.
Right, but they came from the same joint, so it's kind of like when I don't think McVay has any reputation to have his own tree of people.
No, but guess what? Guess what, Nav? No, you're right, but guess what? I think he's gotten 3 or 4 OCs of his to become head coaches.
Oh no, I agree.
So he is going to probably be. He comes from the Shanahan, right?
Shanahan, that's the tree.
And then
Shanahan is the tree.
Yeah, but I'm sure Shanahan grabs some stuff from others, right? Like from whoever he was brought up.
What I'm saying is that's the tree. When people are talking about trees, there's like 3 trees.
Right. They're all over.
Bill Walsh still has a tree.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna say Parcells.
And Parcells has a defensive tree for sure.
So what I'm saying is that when this is all said and done, and say we're, look 10 years or maybe 15 years from now, we'll be like, yeah, he comes from the McVay tree and the McVay comes from this tree. We'll be doing this whole tree to tree thing kind of deal.
Where does Matt LaFleur come from? LaFleur.
Isn't it Shanahan as well?
Shanahan.
Yeah.
Right. Mike LaFleur is a new head coach, brand new head coach.
Right.
Watch Mike LaFleur do more than Matt LaFleur's ever done in his life.
You think so?
I think so.
Down in Arizona?
Yeah. Watch this shit. I mean, it's when that hire happened, I'm like, wow.
I don't know. Yeah, El Chem just said it. Hackett, them hiring Hackett I was like not a fan of that, but maybe he was their only option.
Yeah, at this point, probably was.
And I got a feeling they want to
Hackett's actually a decent OC. He is not a good head coach.
Right.
I think they want to get out of Kyler
same
Murray.
idea, right? Josh McDaniels never going to be a good head coach.
Nope, but I think he's going into his 10th Super Bowl or whatever it is, 9th.
Yeah,
10.
Here's the other problem though, right? Is Hackett got a bad reputation when he got hired on as a head coach of the Denver Broncos. And yes, it was a disaster as a head coach. Yeah. But when you actually look at Hackett in terms of his offensive play calling, even with the Broncos when he was here, I will actually defend Hackett's offensive play calling when he was here. If you actually assess the tape in the film, the issue was not Hackett. Hackett's offensive play calling, there was guys all over the field that were wide open in terms of how he called plays and what he did. The quarterbacks were just not being properly coached to actually go. They were not going through the progression.
I'm trying to think of the quarterbacks during Hackett's reign. Was it Russ? Wilson. Oh, okay. I guess I'm not going to say much. I mean,
so like when you have a midget clown that's running the quarterback position, you're not going to succeed all that well.
Oh man, so he's inheriting another one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I mean, the thing though is that Russ, even in Seattle, Russell Wilson had a reputation of not going through proper progressions.
Yeah.
Like that was his
jam. Throw a beautiful deep ball, but outside of that, yeah, I mean that was probably one of the best deep like arc moon balls is probably Russell Wilson. But other than that, I mean the dude
Alex says it. Yes, Kyler Murray's he's going to get unloaded.
That's what I'm thinking. Unloaded. Brissett is still there, right? I think they should sign Brissett.
Brissett's still there. They need to sign him for at least a 2-year deal.
And just I don't know what Kyler Murray and Tua are going to do.
Whatever they can get out of the draft.
Maybe
get
Barnum
Tyler steps in, whatever they got to do. You know what I mean? I mean, Jacoby Brissett's a fucking good quarterback.
Yeah.
He really is. People don't realize he's a good quarterback.
Like Gino spent a decade. I know he spent like a decade being like nothing, being a lookover. Then he went to Seattle and had some success. Unfortunately, it didn't carry over to Las Vegas. But that's kind of how like Brissett. I mean, even Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold. I mean, 6 years bouncing all over the damn place. And, finally lands. And we're all saying it. We're like, man, Sam, are you going to turn in that pumpkin? Or are you finally, have you arrived?
DZ, he landed in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan as a backup quarterback. That was the best thing that ever happened to that dude.
I agree.
Probably.
I agree.
Look at those guys. Who then, Purdy and Mac Jones and
then he goes over to the Vikings 14-2. Now, so Sam Darnold has won 30 games. 30 games in 2 years. 30. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's just we have PTSD. All right. When the lights get bright, you're like, and there's no light brighter than Super Bowl Sunday.
No, but people are this is actually my big issue with today's NFL and a lot of the fans that are assessing things. You need to look no further than some of like the pro NFL guys that are now like commentating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you straight up, if a quarterback goes to a team that is not run well and not coached well, that quarterback will like 99% of the time fail straight up outright.
Yes.
However, back in the day, when we grew up on football, quarterbacks would never start within their first few years.
No.
They would sit on the bench and learn.
Yeah.
And in year like 3 or 4 would then start making their way on the field to learn the NFL pace of play, to learn defenses.
Too much of this now.
Play calling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have long forgotten as fanalists and NFL fans, and frankly, even some of the announcers and the nonsense that I hear coming out of their mouths, is we have long forgotten that the quarterback position is one of the most difficult positions to play in pro sports, period. Not just NFL, just pro sports, period. And we used to see NFL quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers. We used to see NFL quarterbacks like Jordan Love, even with I hate to use Green Bay over and over again, but they have a Favre.
Right.
Exactly.
Favre.
Yep.
That
Rodgers.
sits behind. Aaron Rodgers sits behind.
Favre,
and then Jordan Love sits behind.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Then it's a logical.
Philip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees until Drew had his, I think it was his elbow, and they were like, I don't know, man, and they took a gamble and said we're just going to go with Philip. Obviously, they drafted him high, right?
I'll tell you what, if Philip Rivers, that old freaking draft debacle didn't happen, if Philip Rivers would have went to the Giants, they would have won more Super Bowls with them than Eli ever would have thought.
You're probably not wrong. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers is a freaking
yes.
stud.
Oh yeah, look. Not only is he a stud on the football field, but he's a stud off the field with his football team that he's fielded in terms of family size.
Yes.
So I mean, let's just call it for what it is, man.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
but he Philip Rivers is one
do
of
all
those
the kids
guys.
just get gift cards for Christmas? Like
I don't know.
They just hand out gift cards. Here we go.
I mean, it's like $1 million Christmas. With a family.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm looking at Rivers, for example, and he there's a handful of football players that were on like opposing teams that I had a really hard time, even though they were on opponents' teams, like actually disliking. Like Rob Gronkowski was one of those guys that I had a really hard time hating, even though I hated the Patriots. Rob Gronkowski was just a dude that was like just likable for whatever. He was like the classic football player.
I can see that.
Philip Rivers was in that realm for me as well. Andrew Luck kind of fit.
A lot of Raider
kind of
fans
vein.
would probably disagree with you, but
look, Gronkowski. Anytime the Raiders played against him, I'm like, we need to like destroy this. We need to like chip this dude. We need to do something with this guy. Do you know what I mean? That it wasn't that I hated him. It's just damn. You know, he's just big and fast. Come on, man. It's like to me.
Gronkowski with his like bionic arm that arm brace thing that he would always wear, and then somehow rumble and stumble and catch this one arm ball and just still
somehow.
like, and he's just taking.
Yeah, because his hands are this big.
It's just boom.
Yeah,
the ball.
His hands are like freaking 10 feet long. Like, you know what I mean? So
there were some guys like that. Like I really like. Someone mentioned Peyton. I never had an issue with Peyton.
Look, I was not wanting to watch the flag football game last night, but Jamar Chase they put him in as a defensive back, and he picks off a ball. You guys gotta look this up. Jamar Chase picks off a football, picks it off like this, like
okay.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna be like, I'll take your word for it because
and then takes it to the house.
But then if he did something
across the entire field,
yeah.
I mean, dudes like Jamar Chase are only built in a certain generation.
Chase is freaking unbelievable. He is.
I mean,
good.
I was like, what the fuck just happened? You know. So I think it was shit. It was hey, somebody in the chat, tell me who the quarterback was that threw that. And they were like, what? How the hell did he catch that shit? How the hell did he freaking pick that off? Because the quarterback threw it low into the end zone, to get it away from him, and Jamar Chase picks it off one-handed, right-handed low, and just pulls it. And doesn't even fall down. He runs up the field with it. You know, I'm just like, for crying out loud.
I've seen some games with Jamar Chase, like where you just watch him and just, God, I think it was this season, like earlier this season or maybe last season, I was watching him play, and every snap he was uncovered. They couldn't cover him.
It's just dumb.
No, they couldn't cover him. He was he was so good.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind the Bengals haven't won like 4 Super Bowls in the last 4 years.
I don't know. I gotta put my tinfoil hat on, man. I look at the last 15 years, you look at like who's won the Super Bowl, and then it was like, I think it's the Bengals, and then there's one other team that are considered small market teams, are the only 2 outliers of all the teams that have been in the Super Bowl. I think it was like 9 teams. It's been the same 9 teams over and over or something. And I'm just like, are those teams really that good or something else going on?
No. Hey, Richie, can you put that on there from Raiders Act? What Pro Bowl? They haven't had a Pro Bowl in over a decade. No. What I'm saying is they were playing flag football. Do not get me wrong. I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying is Jamar Chase, wide receiver for the Bengals, went in to be a defensive back and picked off a ball as if he was a receiver. One-handed, like this. Grabbed it low. It was like 2 feet off the ground. Grabbed it and rolled and ran up the field. I mean, for crying out loud, that dude is different. He's different. That dude's different. Yeah. When you get dudes like that,
which, mind you, you said, I think Richie said, what, quarterback is the toughest position in all sports?
Yes.
I think in football, the second toughest would be cornerback. Playing cornerback is probably, and then I would say, let's take it to number 3. I would say number 3 would probably be left tackle in the NFL. Yeah, I would say those are 3 top positions.
Let's see who. Nobody in the chat is trying to help me out. Who threw that pick?
Was it Jalen? Was Jalen Hurts playing or anything like that? It seems like
it was. No, it wasn't Jalen Hurts though.
But somebody was talking about the I messaged or I tweeted at Sean Merriman, or somebody was talking about the Pro Bowl, how it was a joke. I think it was like last week, and I was like, man, I missed the NFL should have never left Hawaii, and I guess they left because of
Goff. Yeah.
Oh, it's Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't throw picks. I mean, really doesn't throw a lot of picks.
So what you're telling me is Jamar Chase is beating Goff?
No, what I'm saying is dudes like that say, hey, I want to be a defensive back on this flag football team, and he literally picked it off the ground to intercept that football one-handed and took it up the field from Jared Goff. Are you shitting me? That is next level freaking talent, man. Just not, nobody does that. It's not a thing.
That's a good fantasy name.
Beating Goff. I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Anyways, yeah, I agree. I don't think we'll ever have a real Pro Bowl ever again.
Beating Goff, it's a good thing.
Sucks. It was something we'd always look forward to, especially when they played in Hawaii.
I don't know why we went down this direction, but my apologies if that was my fault.
Yeah. So getting kind of back to the topics here, obviously, DZ, you've had some highs and lows in your season. We're going to wait and see what happens with the new coaching changes, see who fits, see who doesn't. I think perhaps more than previous, this could very well spell a big change for your team in terms of player personnel and success. So when you had Harbaugh come in, he kind of like used what he had for the most part.
They had to. They were like
And
negative 65 million in
right.
cap.
And then but you guys turned it around almost immediately. I actually wonder if there might be a bit of a challenge now with Harbaugh at the helm, but 2 new coordinators at each position, each with different ways of potentially wanting to run things. And you're now in this like potential spot where, especially McDaniels, who is undeniably a very gifted OC, and it's going to be hard for Harbaugh to kind of say that guy doesn't know what he's doing, right? Like it's just hard. Like he's proven that he is a very gifted offensive play caller, and so the question then becomes: does McDaniels' offense dovetail into what Harbaugh wants to run, or does Harbaugh gift it over to McDaniels to run it his way?
That's the $1 million question, my dude.
And do you have the player and personnel to run what McDaniels wants to run, etc.? Like all these different layers, right? And I actually think that you were better suited with Harbaugh and younger coaches or other coaches that were basically doing what they were told, as opposed to other guys that are now trying to make a name for themselves.
So, yeah, I agree. I think what's that saying? Smooth seas don't make a good sailor, or something like that.
Yeah,
like there's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some growing pains.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of trying to get into it. Like we were talking about Miami, how they're a track team, and I think McDaniel kind of said like, look, that was them. That's that thing. This isn't going to be here in LA, right? Like, yeah, everybody would love to incorporate some speed on their offense. It's just a good thing to have. You can stretch defenses that way. I think this is going to be something completely different. This is going to be an offense. It's going to be unique to the 2026 Los Angeles Chargers. And we'll see if that works or not. But they want to marry some stuff together, which is easier said than done. And he said that he's going to be watching every football game Justin's ever played in to kind of see what he thinks Justin can do better or what he shouldn't be doing. But one thing that Jim said he wanted as an OC was a head coach of the offense. He wants to leave the offense alone. Like, that's your thing. Handle it. Like, we'll probably do our thing in the offseason. And then going into personnel, there's 2 theories, or there's a lot of theories, especially on the interwebs with the fan base. But people are like, hey, man, this is year 3 with the GM. You got cap space. Let's not play around and do all these 1-year deals like you've been doing these last couple of years. Go in, make a splash, get somebody, get a dude that can be an impact right away. Considering this team only has 5 draft picks. Now, that being said, there's dudes that they need to re-sign. You don't want to just let them walk, but this is the Ravens West now, and they will love comp picks. So I'm sure there's going to be some guys that are walking away that the fan base will be upset about. But yeah, I know what you're saying. And 2 new coordinators.
I know.
It's going to be interesting, but for one thing, the offense had to change, Richie. The offense, back-to-back playoffs looking completed.
100%. I agree with you 100%. I like 100% because you can't throw every game on Justin Herbert's back. You have to have other skill players step up and be the reason. And up until now, your team has basically gone as far as Justin will fully take you, and you need to have a more balanced attack, like you just do.
Dude is going home to Madison beer every night. I don't want him to stop. I want him to still stay in love with football and not go to the other side. We've seen what happens to players when they start chasing tail. So
right. Well, and the other thing is, you also got to remember J.K. Dobbins getting hurt you big time because he was your freaking bell cow.
You meant Najee. J.K. was with us 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And then he went to that guy's team.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And J.K. still did really good for the Broncos under Sean Payton.
I think JK was a big problem when he went down for the Broncos.
Oh,
right?
100%. That was a huge miss in the playoffs for them.
That was bad when that happened.
And Bo Nix, your starting quarterback. I mean, could you imagine?
I mean,
we could be seeing the Broncos in the Super Bowl if they had probably Bo Nix and J.K. Dobbins.
I agree. To go right back where you were, but I think you need to do more to make it to get over that. Cortland Sutton is not going to be your only. He can't be your only freaking target.
God, I hope not.
No, there's a lot of theories what they want to do.
So we're kind of dovetailing into my Broncos, which I'm all but too happy to critique, because I have much to critique, despite the fact that the Broncos had a very successful season by all accounts.
Yes, no question.
So I have a few major problems with my Denver Broncos, and I really don't care which Bronco fans disagree with me. I hope Jay's still here because I know he's a huge Broncos fan, and I'm happy to duke it out with any Broncos fan that's in the chat that wishes to. Number one, the Broncos' offensive line is not nearly as good as the stats would otherwise lead you to believe. Agreed. It is just simply that simple. Anyone that wants to fight me on that, bring it. I'm north of the border. You can come find me. It's fracking cold here, and I'll still kick your ass. Number two, the Broncos defense very much tapered off aggressively as the season went on. And my hot take on that, and that's not, I don't really see it as a hot take, I think it's just facts, is the interior of the Broncos defensive line was unable to get pressure up the middle. And that is incredibly important as the season goes on, because the weather gets colder and you need to have guys that can shed blocks and get to the quarterback the shortest possible way. And that is why DZ, you being the longest tenured both fan and fanalist here on the show, I have said long before you were on the show that my Broncos need a pass rushing D-tackle, nose tackle in the middle of my defense, because it is one of the most critical positions on the defensive line and has been for years now in the NFL if you actually want to succeed.
You could be in luck because there are some guys in this draft that fit what you want.
Yeah. And then a couple other big reasons, and I'll just kind of knock them out pretty quickly. We don't have a field stretcher at wide receiver and or an elite talent at wide receiver. We have a bunch of really decent guys, but nothing that's spectacular. So you have Cortland Sutton and Little Jordan Humphrey, who are both like dirty yard wide receivers that are bigger guys. You have a couple speedier guys like Marvin Mims that have proven to be quite good. By the way, Mims is a much better wide receiver than people give him credit for when he actually plays and is put in proper positions.
Sure.
But what we're really missing, though, is that true kind of Jamar Chase kind of wideout. We're missing that guy that sets the tone on the offense at the wide receiver position. And that's something that my Denver Broncos very much want. I'll answer this question right here now. Under no circumstances is that dude allowed back in my building.
Is he still even in the league? I didn't even
he's
hear
with the
about
Browns.
that.
He's with the Browns. He got an extension with them and everything.
Did he get hurt last season? Anybody?
Don't know. Don't care.
Oh, he just sucked.
Yeah. So Jerry Jeudy is a type of guy that basically says, I call him a fig jam guy, which stands for the F is not a very kind word, but the last part of it is I'm good, just ask me. And his major issue is he is very high on himself, despite the fact that he has poor production overall and likes to drop the ball a fair amount. He gets a couple games where he goes off and he's got a bunch of routes that he runs really well. But his problem is that he likes to run the routes his way. And this is a problem. When you're on routes that are based on timing, just because you run the route and zigzag all over the place and eventually get open, if you've taken an extra second or two to get open, your quarterback's screwed. It doesn't help anyone. Just because it looks great on tape, you've actually hurt your team because you haven't done things the right way. That is Jerry Jeudy. I don't want him back here again. He can go off to any other team but mine. See ya. Don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Richie, you're talking about like a number one. Like I was just thinking in my head, like we talked about Jamar Chase, and I'm like, okay,
he's a great example. He is that guy. He is
right. Justin
guy.
Jefferson, Jamar,
Yeah,
JSN, and I just think about like where these guys are drafted, and then I look at the Rams, and I'm like, they found Cooper Kupp and they found Puka Nacua. Like those guys weren't.
Cooper Kupp is not that guy for them now.
No, I know, but I'm saying like he was.
They found these dudes.
Yeah, they found these dudes somehow. So what in their scouting or whatever they got going on.
DZ, here's my problem though. We kept Cortland Sutton.
I know that. Yeah, but you guys got a good deal. But I know
whatever. Saying. My point is, we kept Cortland Sutton, and when you look at Sutton and say my guy Tim Patrick,
yeah,
their numbers were almost identical, and Tim Patrick dropped less balls.
Yeah, but we're talking about Tim's health, though, right?
Can't be dropping balls. Can't be dropping your balls. As a
no, not at all. Not at all. You do that when you're older, not when you're younger. Yep. And so the problem here is that, look, Sutton, I like the guy. He's a great teammate. He does a lot of good work on the field. He is not a bad player. This is not me trying to slam Sutton. I think he's a great guy, but he's a fantastic number two. He is that like elite number two that you want on your team for any team. But the problem is that my Denver Broncos have been trying to masquerade him as a number one wideout. He is not a number one wideout.
Right. I agree.
He's like an upper end number two.
He is.
Oh no.
He is.
He's a T. Higgins number two.
I'm just looking to see where the Broncos are picking this year.
You are correct, Nabman. That's exactly who he is. He is a T. Higgins guy. He is that like top tier wide receiver too.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I have a couple other positions I just want to throw out there. Tight end. We need a guy that is a complete all-around tight end, pass catching and pass blocking combination guy. The Denver Broncos cannot afford to have basically jags at the tight end position anymore if we're going to succeed. You need to have guys that can actually do it all and are threats.
What's that guy's name for the Colts?
Saubert. Well, Saubert's my guy. I like that guy, but
the Colts, he's like an all-around tight end. Like Bowers is like an elite pass-catching tight end, right?
Yes.
Yes. That dude's the best tight end in the NFL. There's no question.
For the passing, yes, I agree. But there's the Colts tight end. What the hell's his name? Why is this? He is Warren. To me,
yes.
Earmuffs, Nav. To me, I think he potentially could be the number one all-around tight end in the league. No question. He is big, blocks, he can catch.
Look, those are the top two, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're up and coming.
Right. And the Broncos need a guy like that because you don't want a tight end like Bowers, for example, who is going to be only viewed as a wide receiver.
You need a Mike Mayer is what you need.
You need a Mayer. You need a guy like that. Exactly.
He's
100%.
a yin to his yang. You know what I mean?
But you're not getting.
Right. And then last but not least, the Broncos are also in dire need of a big-bodied running back. I was saying that all last season. You can go back and check the tape that I'm on YouTube. Look, I've been doing this for long enough that I can't really hide what my viewpoints are anymore. They're kind of on film, as it were. I said this before, and it showed actually to be very true, especially as the season went on. J.K. Dobbins was a fantastic running back. He is fantastic. However, he doesn't stay on the field healthy, and you then need someone else that can step in that is a bigger-bodied, kind of well-rounded running back that can run routes and pass pro. The Broncos do not have
Zamir White. Zamir White's who you need, bro.
We had who did we bring in?
Zamir White. We'll give him to you.
I'm trying to see. There's some free agents coming up, and I didn't check on the running back, but you need somebody. I think you guys are bringing. Is JK under contract or is he a free agent?
He's a free agent, but he's already said he wants back in Denver immediately, and he's willing to take a pay cut to do it.
Yeah, so you keep him because
Mhm.
when he was with you guys, especially in Peyton's offense,
You just
was,
do that.
You
Yeah.
still got Bidet, McLaughlin, and RJ Harvey. You just want to get that meat, dude. You want that 6'2", 250.
I actually don't want Jaleel back. I think you need to let him go. I don't want Bidet back. I think you need to let him go.
Wow.
RJ Harvey was a decent pickup, but he continued to mess up. And
He's young.
He's still on a rookie contract.
Yeah,
though.
he's young, buddy.
Keep him because you drafted him where you did and you try to develop him. But I think the Broncos need to, in my opinion, need to start looking at those smaller school guys that are gifted and talented but are going to be overlooked that you can get in some of the later rounds that literally transition very well to the NFL as an example. For a good example of a dude that kind of fits the mold that I'm referring to is the Commanders drafted a guy in the 7th round. He's got a law firm style name and I can't remember it right now.
Kenneth Walker.
The one that ended up taking over when Eckler got hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an example. He's an example of a guy that I wanted us to draft as the Broncos, but we went with a developmental tight end in Caleb Lohner. Now, Caleb Lohner is Krosky Merritt. Exactly.
Yes.
That guy.
There you go.
So he's an example of a guy that's a fantastic runner of the football, that is not a big body guy, but a very competent runner of the football. And you need guys like that on your team. You need guys to pick up the mantle that can kind of step in and do the thing. A great example of that on my Denver Broncos, who I actually wanted to play about half a season earlier than my team actually allowed, was CJ Anderson. If you remember that name.
Yeah, I remember CJ.
So that dude was like a bowling ball, and he was a fantastic runner of the football. And the Broncos delayed his progression onto the football field, but every time he saw the field, he killed it. So
dude, there's some free agents, Richie.
Yep.
I mean, you got Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, like Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Walker. How do you say the guy from Houston, Dare Ungambawale? Like, there's some dudes that are. I mean, like if Denver's willing, like they can get themselves a piece. Like they can get a good guy with. But I don't know how many picks the Broncos have, but I'm sure they probably want to go the draft route. I would think.
Yep, and then last but not least, my number one position that I want my Broncos to go for, which is on my wish list, but I know I'm never going to get, is offensive center.
This great draft, dude. So we do too, but you guys just freaking signed Waddlebagle or Wattenberg.
What a bagel!
I took your
Waddlebagle. That's my name, man.
Yeah, I took your deal with him, but I mean, you unfortunately extended that dude, and but this is a great draft for centers.
I have a theory on him.
Well, you keep him away from my team. I'll tell you that.
No, I think that he's going to be moved over to guard.
Oh, yeah.
To replace who, though?
We said that.
Powers.
We said that.
Is Powers a freaking...
We all said that. In a
Powers
chat.
is a net benefit to my team to cut. In terms of cap savings.
Yeah.
And I think that the Broncos are going to move Waddlebagle over to guard.
Yep.
Have him eat a couple extra bagels to bulk up a bit. And then I think, like, if I had my way, this is what I think we should do. Move Wattenberg over to guard and go draft ourselves the top center in the draft.
Right. That's what you should do.
Look, I agree.
I think the top center this year, and I mean, I'm sure the chat will let me know. I think it's Jake Slaughter? Is that the top center?
No, the one out of Wisconsin. is probably the top center.
Richie, I don't even think you guys have a free agent on the Mustafa. He's a nothing burger, but I'm looking for.
Here's my prediction: we bring him back.
Yeah, probably in camp, see if he makes it. If you didn't pick anybody else,
No,
but
I think we're gonna sign him back because he played better than Forsyth did. And I think that they're going to keep Mustafa as our backup.
Well, didn't Forsyth get hurt?
Yes, but he's gotten hurt every time he's come on the field for us. Yeah. We like Forsyth at the Broncos because he played with Bo Nix in college. And we were hoping that there could be the center quarterback connection. The problem with Forsyth is he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And so we brought in Mustafa, and then we had to cut him just due to roster reasons, and he got picked up by another team because we couldn't bring him back to the practice squad as a result. But we got him back in the playoffs or for the playoffs, and he killed it for us. He did very well when he needed to step in. And
I was surprised. That just shows that you guys have a good offensive line situation over there because he was with us, and we're like, who the hell? What is? It was like nothing for us, and to see how he played with you guys.
Yeah,
being surrounded by some good, offensive linemen and a good offensive coach, good scheme.
Yeah,
like you look really good.
Yeah, and I think Mustafa is going to be retained by the Broncos as a competent backup at center, in my opinion, for what it's worth.
Okay, and I'm looking at it.
So I'm thinking
Nav, are you talking about? Is it Brian Parker? So I'm looking at this guy.
It is, but he's not declared.
So there's this guy I follow, and he's like talking about like just 8 guys that he likes, but there's a guy I follow on X that I like his opinion. He's talking about just centers: Brian Parker II, Connor Liu, Logan Jones, Sam Hecht, Jake Slaughter, Pat Coogan, Jaeger Burton, and Parker Brailsford.
Pat Coogan's a no.
So those are some guys that, like probably the upper echelon of centers that are probably going to go. But this is a good, if they, like Nav was alluding to, if they do declare, like you can get a good center. And that's what I'm hoping my team does because
I think the top center, as Spotrac shows it, is Jake Slaughter.
Yeah, I guess it's like everybody's flavor, right? Like
what it shows. That's what it shows. Like
Slaughter's, I think his accolades are up there, like what he's done in college.
From what I got from Spotrac, number 1's Connor Liu.
Why would you, Taino? Why would you say the Broncos?
Number 1's Connor Liu. Number 2's Jake Slaughter. Parker Brailsford out of Alabama's number 3. Logan Jones out of Iowa, which I thought was Wisconsin. And then Sam Hecht after that. The top 5 center coming out in the draft.
I just think that the Broncos, when you look at what my team has done or not done, is protections have been so-so. And the Broncos overall from a aggressiveness standpoint on the offensive line have not been where they need to be if you want to go deep into the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, when you see what happened in the latter part of the season and against teams that were bigger and stronger on the defensive line, the Broncos O-line was not big enough and strong enough to hold their own properly, and we very much struggled in those games.
Richie, I think you guys got exposed to an extent, to some sense. Weather and the weather, and then the quarterback and the play calling, because that O-line couldn't just sit there and run the rock. Going to what you're saying, they're too light, whatever. You needed that big power gap scheme for that type of a game. But let's just say Bo was in there, and let's just say, Troy was healthy and yada, yada, right? That it could have worked then.
That changes shit.
It changes. Yeah. But I see what you're saying. You've been banging the table to get more of some heavier dudes up in Denver, but it just seems to go against of what Sean is about. Sean's got these lightweight D line.
It's very clear that the Patriots have made their way into the Super Bowl in the easiest manner possible.
Oh my God, yeah, and look, hats off to
second in the league.
They look like a fool if they win, but I feel like they're the biggest fraud team in the Super Bowl I've seen in a long time. Are the New England Patriots this year?
There's really not much there.
So my prediction is going to be very similar to what the Broncos had against the Sea Chickens in the playoffs in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I remember that game.
So my prediction is that the Seahawks are going to just demolish the Patriots, and the reason for it is the Broncos' defensive line was playing kind of one hand behind their back because I think Vance Joseph counted his chickens before they hatched and thought he was going to get himself a head coaching gig again. And he didn't properly game plan for the Patriots to get proper pressure against Drake May. The Broncos played well on defense. Don't get me wrong. The defense was not the reason why we lost that game. It was the offense, generally speaking. However, the defense could have really forced Drake May into more issues and turnovers if the Broncos defense played in full blitz style packages where they just absolutely slaughtered them. And we dropped the ball on that. And frankly, Vance Joseph is known for blitz packages, and we just didn't run them. So and that kind of goes into what the Patriots have done this year, which is they have Vrabel, who is kind of that linebacker guy, who's kind of the hard-nosed football style coach.
I think he's won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls he's been in.
He plays football the way that I think football should be played, which is like through the trenches and getting to the quarterback and protecting the quarterback as best as you can. And in my opinion, the Patriots have turned the corner the way that they have because of that mentality and that way of playing football. The Broncos are trying to play too cute. They're trying to play like we're going to outsmart you. And that will work to a point until you find another coach on the other side that's just better at it than you are, which is going to happen whether you like it or not. And then the only way you can win that game is if you're more physical than the other team. And the problem is that if you don't have the physicality on your team to actually do the thing, you're not going to win those games. The Broncos are not physical enough in terms of size-wise to win those types of games. And that's what I want for my team.
Richie, do you think Sean and your GM or whoever kind of go like, man, we kind of got bullied a little bit. Do you think they kind of go, let's get some bigger personnel in?
Yes, George Payton is one of my favorite GMs in the league. I think that he has controlled Sean Payton to not make stupid choices. Because Sean Payton got the New Orleans Saints in a bad spot. And I think Sean Payton has learned a little bit from his time in New Orleans, where he realized that sustained success needs to come from being having more adaptability, and not just simply demanding your guys get massive extensions. I think that George Payton is reining Sean Payton in terms of his arrogance a little bit by getting these like really smart contracts and extending the right guys to do the right thing. So like Malcolm Roach was a fantastic.
So far he's done 2 guys for you that you're not a big fan of, and that's Wattenberg and your Sutton. Sorry.
Well, I think that those are Sean Payton guys. So I think a GM is going to capitulate a little bit to the head coach just to appease the guy.
Yeah.
And I think that a guy like George Payton is like, re-sign Malcolm Roach, keep Zach Allen, like those sorts of guys and those sorts of players. And I think that's important. And I think that ultimately that the Denver Broncos, I mean, they could prove me wrong and try to go after him as well. But I think John Franklin Myers is going to be kind of the sacrificial lamb to get comp picks. And I think that we're then going to try to go after a draft pick to get a pass rushing and or pressure getting interior D lineman.
Your free agents are going to be hot commodities.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Because people always want to go after. They go after winning culture, winning stuff, winning teams. I mean, there's some guys on that team I'd like, but we'll see.
I think Stranad is going to let walk. I think we're going to let him hit the dirt. And I think that we're going to try to work with Singleton because we believe that he is going to be probably willing to come back on a team-friendly deal because he likes it here in Denver.
Dude, yeah, he's just the epitome of like a northern. Like, I don't think there's a team above you. I mean, Seattle's kind of, but it's like northeast or northwest. But like he's just that style. Yeah, I was hoping like
most people. What most people don't realize about Singleton. Singleton came from the CFL before he came to the NFL, and he played in one of the coldest climates in all of Canada, and that is saying something.
You say Calgary?
Right.
He played in Winnipeg.
Oh, Winnipeg, where the Jets played.
Like if you look at the temperatures in Winnipeg, you're gonna freeze your ass off just by looking at what they are.
It's like a Arctic landscape. Yeah, just
it is.
Nothing.
It is a different kind of cold, my man. That is like, look, I come from like the north in Ontario, and it is kind of cold here. Winnipeg is fracking freezing. It is brutal.
Well, I know we're
way colder than 8 feet of snow.
I know we'll transition to the Raiders.
I will take where I live for snow compared to Winnipeg's cold. Okay, we'll just put it that way.
Yeah, no thanks. You're living in a fucking igloo. I mean, freaking igloo all winter. Winters there are way too long.
Yep.
Nav, I know we're going to transition to your Raiders in a little bit, but I was just thinking, like, all Raider Nation, like, just who your coach is going to be, what your draft pick's going to be. I'm like, you guys, like, how much more can you talk about it, or how excited? I mean, like, I was just thinking about it, like, it's weeks away, and like, already, like, okay, I know who my head coach is going to be, and I know who our future quarterback is going to be. Do I know who my head coach is? I mean, this is what everybody like.
But do I really? Do I really know?
I was just thinking about it. I'm like, you're surprised.
The one thing I want to tell everybody is like, hell yes. Second interview done. Arizona Cardinals interview. They didn't even get a chance to talk to him. I'm pretty sure that's a done deal. I'm pretty sure. As a Raider fan, I'm pretty sure it's a done deal. So here's the thing. DZ, I think I told you that I might say something in this that might make you mad.
And I swear, I'm going to throw it, just say it, and then I will tell you who I think it is. Because if it is, I'll tell you I'll be mad, and then I'm not going to be mad about it.
Can I display screen? Richie, I'm going to hit present. I don't know if it'll let me or not. I think it does allow me. It's up to you.
That's not.
Now you have to put that on there. Okay, so now I have to go.
No.
Hold on.
I knew this. I already knew where you're going.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
So look at this guy right here. Where is he?
He's up top.
See him right there? That guy?
But you look.
Jay Harbaugh. So let me ask you a question. Let me go ahead and unshare that. Let me ask you a question. DZ, come on, bro. If we get Jay Harbaugh, whose son is that?
It's Jim's. But look, so Chargers fans wanted Jay because Ficken is kind of wearing his welcome with the special teams performance. But I don't see Jay doing a lateral move.
No, it's not going to be. I
So
would
he's
expect
gonna-
it to be
okay.
something above that. But,
Right.
I mean,
But at the same time, Nav, real quick, Jim, unfortunately, but fortunately, has nothing but good things to say about the Raiders and his time with Al Davis.
no.
Working for Al. So I'm sure he's telling his son, like, look, I worked there, kind of thing.
Let's not start trying to smooze the Raiders because we're going to smash you next year. Let's not do that, DZ.
How do we put his guy on mute real quick?
Dude,
the Colorado Kool-Aids are flowing through his veins. He's got liquid
Kool-Aid.
Crazy.
The Kool-Aid's right here in the IV. But
I mean, dude, I've seen it. Raider Nation's really pumped. Believe me, I see it everywhere, 24/7.
No, the point being, I looked at that staff. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of names on here that are actually, and then there were a lot of names. I'm like, who's that? Where'd he come from?
So the exciting part for you guys is going to be like who your DC is, who are coming over position coaches.
Jim Schwartz, that would be a great, because if we're going to go young everywhere,
might as well bring a
Jim Schwartz,
vet.
Slap him over there and go, look, dude, I've been a head coach
That'd be
for
a
the
nasty
Detroit
staff.
Lions.
Yeah.
For the Detroit Lions. So let me tell you something about not being able to live up to potential. A dude like that is pretty cool. But I think the defensive coaches actually are more important.
And guess what, Nav? Jim and what is it? What's his first name? What's Schwartz's first name? Is it Jim as well? No.
What's that?
What's his first name? Schwartz's first name? Richie?
Jim.
It is Jim.
Yeah.
Jim
Jims
Schwartz.
don't like each other. The Jims, Harbaugh and Schwartz don't like
I understand.
each other.
How cool would that be?
That's what I'm saying. It adds some little more spice, a little more dash of the wash your sister sauce into the
No, they're not fans of each other.
The infamous, what is it? The infamous handshake or whatever.
Yeah.
On the back.
Then if you get Jay Harbaugh as a special teams coach or above, in the building, then that's interesting.
He's going his uncle's route.
Yes,
Jay. He's going like special teams.
John went the other way. He went special teams to head coach.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if Jay,
no, Jay's defensive.
Well, no, he's special team for the Seahawks.
No, but I mean he's a defensive side.
But I'm saying like, what would be his next promotion? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Jay Harbaugh, his side of the ball is defense.
Okay.
On the special teams, the special teams coordinator. So so what would be his role? I don't know. Probably linebackers coach, more than likely. Linebacker.
I'd have to dig into Jay.
Depends on what the reality would be. It would be a staff thing. If Kubiak says, I can't live without you, you're coming to the Raiders with me. That type of deal.
But then at the same time, I could see him staying with Mike, and maybe get I don't know. We'll see. Who knows?
What I'm saying is that dude's on the staff with Kubiak. Just depends on. I don't say they're like hanging out every night and having a beer together. That type of thing. All I'm saying is that Kubiak's about to be the Raiders head coach, and he's going to look around in that Seahawks building, whether he likes it or not. He's still looking. He's kind of
he's definitely bringing some guys over because it's going to be promotions for them.
But if you look at it, so if you bring Jay Harbaugh to the Raiders, that's kind of I mean,
you know that's going to make the like the NFL broadcasts, right? Like Jay Harbaugh on the Raiders, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
They'll be so stupid about it. It'll be ridiculous.
So, Nav, I just want to quickly make a quick comment just about Winnipeg, real quick, to give you an idea about Singleton. So, to put things in perspective for all the American audience out there, which is the vast majority of us watching the show.
You mean the Southern America from your part of America?
Yeah, you guys are part of North America, Richie.
I'm part of North America, but the southern part of North America, where you guys are used to balmy temperatures and whatnot.
Yeah, and they're probably already freaking getting a tan right now.
Yeah, so to put things in perspective, on an annualized basis for at least about a month in Winnipeg, it will hit minus 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, just get yourself there.
Just put yourself in a perspective of if you open the door and take a breath, all your snot freezes immediately.
Right away.
Just the stuff that has to go in for just working around there, like for people who work for the city. Everything needs to be on heaters. All your diesel trucks need to be.
So I'm telling you right now that there's an ongoing thing in Winnipeg where folks will go out with a bucket of water and they'll throw it up in the air, and before it gets the arc back down, it's frozen.
That's wild.
Wow.
Okay, like you can go online, you can see the videos on like YouTube and stuff.
That's kind of freaking cold I don't deal with, but I'll tell you what I'm sick of dealing with right here. Is this freaking bipolar freaking shit that's going on?
But Nav, this is what I'm trying to like let everyone know. Like Singleton, he played football in that weather.
Yes.
That's dangerous, man.
He is a different type of football player, and that's why he's just built different.
I didn't know there was actually a football attachment to that. Did you, DZ?
I look, I've been with this guy for a minute, so I kind of get what he's getting.
Right.
But the only other team I could think of him playing for would probably be the Packers, or maybe Buffalo. Packers or Buffalo. Those are like the other ones that fit Singleton's kind of style.
You gotta do what you gotta do to keep a dude like that.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Yeah, 100%. And he's half Canadian. I can't remember if his mom or dad is kind of comes from like Saskatchewan or Winnipeg. For those who don't know, Saskatchewan is equally as balls cold as Winnipeg is. They are.
Which one's the forgotten province? I feel like one of those is like the forgotten province.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's like nobody ever talks about it. They're like,
Saskatchewan is one of those provinces that you can just look across and you can see across the whole province from sitting flat.
Okay, so it's like Kansas for us down here, where it's just like
that area. For those of you that don't know geography at all, if you just go to the very top of the earth and you just grab Antarctica and throw it on top of North America, that is how cold it is there.
I was just thinking about something. I know that Richie talks about how Canada's cold. One of the funniest things I heard was like a Texan. My mom was born in West Texas, and I asked him, I'm like, does it get cold down there? Right? Like, it was a stupid question because Texas is way south, right? And he had the funniest thing he said. He's like, because in wintertime, he's like, there ain't but one tree from Canada all the way down to where my ass is at. And he's like, it gets cold as hell. And I'm like, but the way he said it made me bust up laughing because if you think about it geographically, there's nothing like if you go from West Texas up to Canada, that's like plains region, and there's nothing. That's like there's no forests and trees and something like that.
Richie, just to confirm that. So being in Nevada several times, you know what I mean? Like Fallon, Nevada, or Reno, that area. So it can be 70 at like 3:00 in the afternoon.
What are you doing in Fallon, Nav?
Oh, Navy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Did you say 70?
No, what I'm saying is say it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit at 3:00 in the afternoon. 2:00 in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's -2.
Yep. The
without
desert is she
You know
is
what I
a
mean? So it's
fun
like
bee.
nice. You're in shorts, and then you're freaking wondering if your furnace is gonna hold up.
Yeah,
You know
desert's
what I mean?
crazy, man. Like, I'm so if you see DZ, right, it stands for Desert Zombie. That's like that was like a thing I made a long time ago. But the desert, it could be like 80, 70, 80 in the day, and at night, if you get a good wind coming in,
Oh yeah,
oh my God, like
yeah. It just wipes you down.
yeah,
It's a little bit different, Richie, from perspective. Like even here in Tennessee, so it can go like today. It got up to 40. We just like melted all the snow. So it's like, no, we're gonna go to 20 and we're gonna rain. So now it's a big ice field out here, you know. So it's kind of like not to that extreme, but I'm telling you what, out in like Nevada, it can be like 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's like -5. So it's, you know what I mean?
That's my weather. Like that's what I have right now outside.
Right. But you do that all the time. The thing about it is it's like you're in shorts and then 12 hours later, you walk out the door and your snot freezes, you know?
Yeah. No, I could appreciate
world.
that. Yeah, I could appreciate that for sure. But like I'm used to those extremes here as well, not quite to the same extent. It'll go from in our springs and falls here, I will have close to that same extreme. I will have like it's like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, and it'll go right down to like -12 at night, which is almost that same extreme. But we'll have snow on the ground still, right? Like so, we go through those massive extremes as we go ebb and flow, and it can get pretty aggressive here too. We call that pothole season because that's what just pops the roads, right? Because we get all the snow and stuff,
just destroys
and
the
it
road.
it just rips up the road like nobody's business.
Yeah,
I was just thinking like we have like some like opposite. We just call it false springs. Like, oh, spring's here, just kidding, and then it snows again and it's cold for.
We have that. Yeah, there's no question.
But no, Nav, you're right. Like the desert, Tim. Like I've never been to Canada, and I can imagine it's way effing colder. Obviously, like just dangerous cold, right? But the most extreme is definitely deserts. Like deserts in fall or winter, like. You can be there in wintertime, 75 degrees, and it's great. You're out hiking, and then at night it drops, and you get hypothermia. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the Sierra Nevada mountains have more fatalities than any other.
That's where everybody goes to go hiking, and they're not prepared.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying they have more fatalities on hikers than anyone else. And my wife will tell you
I heard you. Challenge accepted.
She runs a hiking group. She's like, that is the most dangerous mountain range in the country. Here's why.
I agree. Let's go.
You guys,
then it's -20.
I know we're a sports show, but do you guys watch YouTube shows like on your off time or no?
Yep, all the time.
Yeah.
So you guys should watch the guy Truck House Life. Truck House Life. Do you guys know about that?
Yeah.
No.
He drives an OBS Ford truck with a cabin on the back, and then he had his girlfriend get the similar truck, and they drove from Florida to his house in Alaska, and in Canada, in no man's land between the borders, she flipped her truck, and it was -42 degrees.
-42.
-42. Nobody would help. He had to winch her back down. Like it was. Look up Truck House Life. And watch some of their episodes. It is insane. That's what Canada is like. It is so like you can ice skate on the roads because there's no point in plowing them or doing anything, or it's too much material to even do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll wreck the plow putting the salt down. I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think up there they throw sand down.
DZ, to your point there, I think I said this to both of you in the private chat. About a week ago here, maybe a week and a half ago, they pulled the plows off my roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that. And I was like, what? And then you
Like as in they pulled the snow plows off the roads. Like it was too dangerous for them to go out.
Yeah.
There was too much snow and too much blowing snow. It was too dangerous.
And you guys don't salt. It's sand.
And that's
right?
in Canada. And that's in Canada.
No, we salt and sand, but like again, I'm gonna take a photo for you guys in the private chat. The sides of my roads are taller than my SUV in terms of the snow mounds at the side of the roads.
Yeah, no thanks.
Like it is that much snow. Like there is that much cold weather here.
But you got to admit, it's weird when you're like 70 and then you just go to like -20, like in moments.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Yeah,
I don't think your body can like prepare for that. That's too much of a drastic change. Like
there is very few spots in my neck of the woods that goes through that. I live in one of those areas that often has those types of temperature swings, and people get real sick real fast.
Yeah. DZ and I can both tell you that these swings can happen, and no weather forecast.
I live in the Mid-Atlantic. He's in the Southeast, which is it's not far from the Mid-Atlantic. It's pretty much the same. The weather here is drunk like multiple times a year because it's just in a weird spot in the country or geographically.
Like they said, yesterday's forecast here was that it was going to get up to 50, get rid of everything, and then be sunshine all day. Haven't seen the sun all damn day. Guess what? New forecast. 3 inches of snow overnight.
But Jack Kenna, who lives in California, like
he doesn't even know.
Their weather is so predictable and so like level that it's just constant like awesomeness most of the year.
Yeah.
Go to the ride of the Sierra Nevadas and then drive back over again and see what the difference is. You'll notice.
Yeah.
So Nav, on your team, getting kind of back to the football side of things here.
Sorry.
I think your team is, I hate to say again, but again, the most in flux compared to most of the other teams in the division.
There's no question. Agree.
And that's not necessarily meant as a knock. I just think it's factual.
No,
then the question is, who fits, who doesn't, and I think a lot of that's going to be a big question, right?
Yeah. So I have a list of folks that I would keep, and doesn't include rookies. So took rookies off the table completely. So if they're on a rookie deal, they stay regardless.
Yeah.
Just to make it easy. So Raider fans are going to blow me up on this. I think we're keeping Colton Miller just because he's the left tackle and he's had a lot of time to get actually healthy. Okay, yes, he's a little bit older. Got it. We're keeping him. Okay. On the offensive line. Everybody else is on rookie deals.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Every single one of them. That would be a possible starter as a rookie. Other than him. On rookie deal. So I'm good. Colton Miller. That's it. That's all I'm keeping. DJ Glaze is kind of a question mark at the right tackle position. He is he will be a rookie will not be a rookie by the time the season starts. March 11th, he will not be a rookie anymore on a rookie deal. So that's a question. That's the only one I keep. So then I look at quarterbacks. Who do I keep? I keep Aiden O'Connell. That's it. Because that dude is the one dude you don't have to pay a lot to. You don't have to pay a lot to this guy. And he's still going to be the backup when you ask him to be. And he's probably one of the better ones in the league. Better backups in the league. Because the dude's come in and got his ass handed to him on 4 different regimes. You know what I mean? Come on. You got to keep that dude. You got to keep AOC in there. I don't care if you got to put him on the practice squad. I don't care. He needs to be in the quarterback room. And then my other one was Trey Tucker. Got to keep Trey Tucker. Yeah. If nothing else, for Jack Besh to understand those type of slants and ups and outs and type of stuff that Trey does, because that's what Besh would be expected to do. Okay. But I'm telling you what, the only quarterback in that room before the draft should be AOC. That's it. I'm telling you that. Running back. Again, rookies. I think we keep Mostert because we just need the powerhouse dude in there. And if we, for however reason, end up with a 7th round freaking blockbuster running back, you grab it. You know, and then Mostert maybe is number 3. But in the running back room, he's worth it. So he'll need to be re-signed because he was a 1-year deal. But on defense, look, wide receiver is a thing. It's going to be a thing. It's always going to be a thing for us. Never been able to get that right until we got the defense wrong. When we had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown on our team at the same time and Rich Gannon, that should have been 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
Not wrong.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to stay on that long. So defensive line, I don't think Max Crosby, I don't think you can deal him at all until
that stuff heated up crazy today.
I know.
I'm sure you saw it.
But here's the thing. If you do that, $18 million for the next 2 years we eat in dead cap money. Because the rest of this year is guaranteed to win. So over the next 2 years, we'll pay that back to him.
Dude, I'm seeing that you guys could get more for him than what the Micah Parsons trade went through. People are saying, and that 18 mil that you're saying, I'm sure they just eat it up because the rewards are going to be greater.
But it's dead cap money. It's the thing is, it's something you can't spend, you can't borrow against.
I don't know what you guys' cap looks like in 27.
No, it's dead cap money when you do that because he's the last year of his deal. So the thing about it is, keep Max. If you want to deal him at the beginning of the season, trade him that way to a contender, looks like to be a contender, that's where you get your money's worth. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying look, I love Max Crosby.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to lose him as a Raider, but damn it, I want the dude to win too. And the other thing is, if we can benefit from it, we don't benefit from it trading him now, like March 11th or after. Trade him in season when a team needs it. That's when you get the value. That's all I'm saying. But I will say keep Max. And Adam Butler, I want to keep him. Malcolm Kuntz, this dude on the defensive line, when Max was obviously hurt and they're still double teaming him, Malcolm Kuntz became that dude. This is his 4th year. We drafted this guy. You know what I mean? It's not like, he's homegrown. Got to bring him. Got to keep him coming. Right? Keep him. And the back end, not much. I got not much for you. But Jeremy Chen, if we can keep him as a straight up strong safety, we keep it. He's on a 2-year deal. Stokes stepped up and played Pro Bowl level.
Yeah.
4 or 5 games at the end. Palomau, again, drafted him. He's just now coming out of his rookie contract, so keeping that one. And one linebacker, only one linebacker I want to keep. That's Jamal Adams. That's it.
Really?
Get rid of all of them. And that is only I just listed every single player that is not on a rookie contract I want on this team.
And you guys have a lot of cap and a lot of picks, and you could, and then so there's a lot of stuff, a lot of ways for you guys to skin a cat, essentially rebuild this team. And it's probably going to be a multi-year process, like it's been with Richie's team, with my team. It takes a few seasons. I actually I've been looking into Kubiak, and especially with you guys say like the potential of getting Mendoza. Yeah. I like the schemes he runs and relies on for a young quarterback, because I think it'd be a huge mistake for say the team drafts Mendoza, right? We saw the success he had with Indiana. Right. But it would be a huge mistake to have him be like, all right, man, throw the ball over the yard, right? Rock and roll. I think Kubiak's plays a physical zone style run offense. My bad. A lot of play action, which is going to be great with your tight ends that you guys have. Yep. So I think that, we were talking about it earlier in the show with free agency and a running back. I see a potential for the Raiders getting a big name running back. If in free agency, getting like a dude like Breece Hall or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Breece Hall is probably their target.
And you pair him with Genty, and they kind of do that tandem thing.
But it's crazy talk to do that, though. I mean, at this position, at this moment in time.
Well, you're going to be wanting to lean on the run.
Agreed.
You're going to lean on the run for that first season. You're going to let him get his feet wet.
I agree with you. Then you just hold on to Mostert, who's a bruiser.
I mean, who said it? Raider Zach. I mean, he's 33. Old. He's getting long in the tooth.
Yeah, but we're not trying to go to the Super Bowl next year.
No, I know. I got you.
But you understand my point?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is, it's like, you think about it, if you want another running back to get in there, you keep Mostert. Just give him the same contract he already has. Like,
it's the $1 million, like a 1 year,
$4.5 million for a year. I mean, for crying out loud, give him that.
Yeah.
And then you get in the draft and you get in the fifth round, and oh, by the way, Black's there, or Nimby. No, wait, Nimby's going back to college. Never mind.
I mean, so you're just like, yeah, I see what you're saying. You made a good point. You made a good point about that. Maybe it would be like next year. I don't know what free agency looks like next year, but like you're like, okay, why would you swing for the fences year one?
I'd be big. What I'd be big on is here's my deal, and everybody's gonna freaking. I'm gonna get bitch slapped on Instagram for this shit. Promise you, by a few guys. Mendoza. If you don't do it, you're going to always regret it. That's my thought process. You got to. That's got to be the number one.
Dude, it's in the
there's
closet.
no question. Especially Kubiak. I am 100% sure it's like, hey, if you're drafting this fucking guy. Oh, sorry, throw an F-bomb. If you're drafting this guy, then yes, I'm there. You know what I mean? It's like a whole dance. But the thing about it is, once you do that, I think it needs to be one defensive, like, stud. You know what I mean? Like defensive tackle, defensive end, something. Somebody in there in the defensive line or a linebacker. Because like I said, the only one I want to keep around is Jamal Adams.
Dude, there's a linebacker in this draft. God, and I forgot his name, but I think he's like
Rodriguez.
Oh my God.
Rodriguez.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And he's projected to go into third.
He's the same guy that won every effing award you can win in collegiate football.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, and he's like this cerebral, like he was the ex-quarterback, right? That turned linebacker.
Yeah. That's
dude.
Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh my God. I just got hip to him just like recently, just a few days ago.
But he's projected to be in the early third, late second.
Yeah, I don't see. I like one of these teams, like maybe Ricky's team. Freaking, why not? Let's add this stud effing linebacker to our group. Pick 30.
So let's go out in a second. Let's get that linebacker to add to Jamal Adams, because Jamal Adams is more of like a strong safety linebacker type guy. He's like outside linebacker, right? So you're going to need that dude with the green dot. However, we already have Tommy Eichenberg. Oh, by the way, best linebacker in the country when he was drafted. Right? Tommy Eichenberg, Ohio State, national champion, that guy.
But look, dude, these Ohio State guys have not been panning out in the league.
They have not. I don't know. But
we drafted one of their like team captains at linebacker a few years ago. I think it was under Telesco, and he was like a nothing burger. And then
who got banned?
You missed those comments. You missed those comments, Mav. My clan robe is hanging up next to me. Richie's a cokehead. Like,
really?
Yes, they're pretty creative, but probably not tolerated here. Very creative comments, but yeah, you're not.
Hey, Richie, we're gonna have to figure out some point how I can actually remove people, because I've seen some pretty crazy shit come across there that doesn't belong.
You know, one guy that really impressed me this year, that's kind of going off talking about linebacker, is the kid out of UCLA that went to the Browns. Starts with an S. Why can't I?
Swearinger?
He's not that impressive.
Yeah. Was it
He's not that impressive. He's not that impressive. You can't remember his name. Bro.
He has a weird name. He came out of UCLA. He's a linebacker.
Swearinger?
Something like that.
He's got the.
When you say Swearinger, you're reminding me of one of my favorite shows. It was a show, like an HBO show it was like about a mining town or something. Anyways, that guy, but he played on a really good.
Carson Swishinger. Swishinger from Cleveland Browns.
He's got to be one of your like rookie defenders or something. He was amazing, but he did play, on a really good defense. So there's that. I don't want to take it away from him, but he was great.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the Raiders is there's so many little pockets of stuff we don't know. We have so many unknowns. Carlos Rogers, Charles Grant. We don't know. They didn't get a chance to play. Pegues. I can see that dude in an I formation.
I mean, on the other side, Nav, who knows if they're even fits for what Kubiak wants to do.
No, Kubiak's probably going to go, all right, what we got? You know what I mean? I mean, it's going to be one of those where it's like, okay, I know that this is my eventual quarterback, but is he my quarterback today? Like Mendoza. I don't give a shit if that's why I want to keep AOC. AOC's been through the ringer with the Raiders, and he's still there. He could have asked to be gone. He could have asked for anything.
Now,
let's just walk away.
I want to know if there's any like Kubiak schemed free agent, like veteran quarterbacks that are going to be available.
I mean, really, Kyler Murray's the only one comes to mind. But also, then you have Tua, who was put back to third string before McDaniel got fired. I mean, yeah, but no, those dudes, that's not the kind of dude. You know what I mean? Both of them are kind of them, and I don't know if that's where you start. You know what I mean?
I think Cousins stays in Atlanta.
He's going to, because probably Penix is not going to be the starter. Let's see what happens. But Penix,
they would have kept with Atlanta. I think that's what got what's his name fired, is that they didn't go with Kirk Cousins earlier, because they would have
Raheem Morris. Yeah, because
they would have been a playoff team.
The Falcons actually looked like Super Bowl contenders there for a moment, because they were going for 400 on offense pretty much every game and holding defenses to like.
I hate to say it, but I think because you remind me of the Falcons, the Ravens got their offensive line running backs planning guy, I think Leonard or whatever. Ravens are building one hell of a staff, and
Jim
Leonard, they're going to be a problem. Baltimore's going to be a problem next year, I think.
I just think Raiders wise it's kind of like a wait and see for us.
Yeah, you have a huge staff to fill out.
I think that the Ravens are going to be a bit of a problem at first, but I don't think Lamar Jackson can stay healthy.
I'm not saying anything because there's Lamar truthers that are fans of. There'll be Raiders fans, Chargers fans, Broncos fans who are like fans of the team, but they're Lamar fans and they'll attack you if you say anything bad about them. So there's that.
Well,
yeah, Lamar sucks.
You can do you, but I actually think ultimately
you can bring it to me.
Lamar had potential in the NFL, but he relied too heavily on his legs to try to gain him the extras and didn't develop himself mentally to then start learning how to play from the pocket soon enough. And now he's paying the price. His body took the beatings and now he can't stay healthy.
So that was one of the points I was going to get at. He has my issue with him is, okay, you say the beatings and they've taken a toll on him. My issue with him is he checks himself out. He'll check himself out of the game, or he'll miss games for like a back thing, a backache or whatever. And he's just gone. Luckily, they've had really good backups in Baltimore to kind of.
He was actually a healthy scratch this year one time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was kind of annoyed, but it's coach speak. Jesse Minter's like, I get the opportunity of coaching the best player in the NFL, and I'm like, come on, man. You don't like really? Okay.
Well, you guys do me a favor. Who is the best player that ever came out of the University of Louisville?
Oh,
in the NFL.
Isn't that you? So it's not Lamar, or is it? But you're saying there's another guy. Give me a hint because I don't want to look this up. Who you're thinking of? I see Richie's. He's on the keyboards. I'm not.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring up the picture.
Well, do you already have somebody in mind? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this. I need a hint.
I like Sheldon Rankins.
Ooh. Sheldon Rankins came from them? Wow. Okay. Who's Nav thinking of? Nav, give me a hint or something, man. Throw me a bone here.
Come on, man. Come on. Go way back. Go back.
How far back are we going?
Go. Gotta go.
Like when you were walking uphill both ways to school far back?
Oh, it was Dumerville. Was another one.
Wow. That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
Harry Douglas, Eric Wood, David Akers.
The chat's got it. Looks Raider Zach and Johnny. Well, that's you, Nav. I thought that was Kenna for a second. Raider Zach and Johnny Unitas. Wow. I did.
So is Lamar better than him? No. That's the best thing ever come out of the University of Louisville in the NFL. From the offensive side of things.
Raider Zach thinks we're crazy. He knew this the whole time. He was just letting us just sit over here and marinate. He's like, you guys didn't even know this. I'm like,
Raider Zach goes, Johnny, you need us. You crazy. Johnny, you need us. Anita. That's what Raider Zach said.
I think for the Raiders, like you guys have, there's so much, like it's actually going to be fun content for our show, especially after the Super Bowl, because it's going to be like, okay, hire, Kubiak, fingers crossed.
It's a done deal.
The draft comes, you get Mendoza, but then you still have 9 other picks or potentially more or less, whether you guys are trading up free agency. But then the exciting part, I would say, even as a fan looking out from the outside looking in, is the personnel that he brings with him to Las Vegas.
Right.
That's going to be cool to see who your DC is, to see who the O-line coach becomes, because that's a really important hire. And I talked about my guy, Butch Berry, where I'm like, I'm really on the fence with him. I would have loved the guy that Jim Leonard that we just talked about. That was my guy from the minute.
Right.
And then also in today's news, O-line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles decided to call it quits, or he's walking away or whatever, which he's been known to be, one of the best O-line guys, in the
He's
last
a kingmaker.
the last couple decades. So
it seems like Sirianni's not very beloved by his
bingo,
coordinators.
Dude. Like
Mhm.
that's what I'm getting at. But
Do you know who the guy was? It Scarsazia or whatever that was with the Patriots?
Sarkisian.
He was a great offensive line coach. He always had that team playing well on the O-line. And he was a guy that was very well respected. He was a guy
Steve Sarkisian.
Yes. Yeah. He was with Belichick for a good number of years there, and he really had that offensive line humming. And in fact, Belichick pulled him back, so it's clear that Belichick was well liked by his coaching staff. Unfortunately, it looks like the Eagles head coach there is perhaps not as well liked.
Yeah, Sirianni's a weird cat. I'm not sure what to make of him.
Yeah, I don't think so. When your coordinators, so being in the military for so long, when you're leading and the people below you don't believe in you, even though it's not supposed to drag all the way down to the people on the floor. You know what I mean? It does.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about crap going downhill, essentially.
Yeah, when the people that are right here next to you, they don't believe in you much. As much as they don't want to say it, they say it to the 3 people below them, who have the 6 people below them, that have the 10 people below each. And then it goes down to the locker room, and all the assistant coaches are kind of like, I don't know why you're even fucking here. That type of shit. Sirianni's that type of dude. I've never met the guy. Don't want to throw shade at him, but man, that dude is all about Sirianni, man. And it may be making itself down to the freaking locker room. It seemed like that at the end of the year. I mean, there was nobody doing anything right.
They haven't, it looked like, was it Shane?
Yeah.
Was it Shane Steichen that left? And it looked like the Eagles you're just like, they did not look like anything like they were.
It was probably Steichen, because Steichen's like, Shane Steichen got chicken boned because he brought Daniel Jones out of the ashes. You know what I mean? And they were rolling. And then all of a sudden they hit a roadblock even before Daniel Jones was hurt. I
like the chicken bone term. It's like some bad voodoo got put on them.
Some bad voodoo, the Chargers, Yeah.
So that's been on us for the last 60 some odd years for some reason. Somebody needs to sacrifice a goat or 2 or a herd of them. I don't know what. Find some marmots or something. Just
Richie has to admit the amount of injuries that happened to the Chargers, and the fact they actually got in the playoffs is impressive.
And we don't play next to that EMF building that the Niners do. So
Richie,
you tell me what's going on.
I already said that to start the show.
Because I look at.
I'm just saying it's impressive.
Yeah, I said that to start the show.
But there's something to look forward to.
This year was a lot of freak injuries. There was a lot of freak injuries this year.
Well, and that's what irritates me about the Pro Bowl. So dang near 90% of skill players get hurt on non-contact injuries. However, you're going to bring all these players to the Pro Bowl and put them on flag football.
On turf,
why does that even make sense?
Wasn't it on turf as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand your game plan when you think of this with the Pro Bowl.
This year was
sorry
weird.
if I just changed the narrative here, but the whole Pro Bowl thing, I have a easy fix for it. And it's pretty simple. NFL, just ask players if they want to play in it.
I think a lot of players would just probably opt out.
Hey, and you're going to put pads on and you're going to play football. You're not going to play flag football. The reason why, and you can say this to players, reason why is most of the accidents we have in career injured stuff is Achilles, ACLs, pec injuries, high ankle sprains that never seem to go away. That type of stuff.
You just said like the four most, and then like I'd say throwing hamstrings in there too. Like
right, and hamstring. And the thing about it is, we send them to a game that is completely non-contact. So, look, do you guys want to put pads on for the Pro Bowl or not? Ask the players.
I mean, do you remember that? Do you guys remember the last added where they were out there? I think it was it Max or TJ Watt or JJ? So one of the Watts I felt like was out there like still trying to play. And
yep.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? It was so cringe and so weird, and it was like everybody else was like, no, dude, we're not doing
Here's the
this.
Thing. Let's make it a ball game. If you're going to come here to play the ball game and you're on the Pro Bowl list, let's do it. You guys let me know, and we'll either do it or we won't do it. Up to you guys. Let's check your manhood. You know what I mean? That type of shit.
I think there's too much money involved. Like,
I get you. Yeah. I get you 100%. But the thing about it is, contact is not what hurts people.
So I heard a number, and we could look this up. I think somebody looked at the cap for the NFL back in like 1995 or 96.
Yeah,
was like
when it first started.
Yeah, it was like around
99 was the cap.
Are you sure?
I think it was.
Okay, so somebody threw out
96 or 99.
Somebody threw out a number, like when it first started, to where it's going to be. Like I think it's hit the 300 million mark, right? I think back in the 90s it was like 30 million. Yeah, you're probably right. Ring around the rosy or something.
Yeah, it's like 30
red
million
light, green light.
Salary cap.
I mean, Rover. This cap, Red Rover.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, I don't know how many of you guys have kids, and this is probably just for the States.
I have two.
I heard they banned dodgeball in middle school and high school in the U.S.
Did they really?
If they did, oh my God.
I think that's such bullshit.
What a rude awakening these kids have.
I'm glad my
kids play that every gym class.
Yeah,
I'm glad my kids are in their 30s and already got their ass handed to them.
I don't know if anybody in the chat has young kids in middle school or high school, but please ask them.
Dude, that's when you know. Banned? That's when you know when you got it. It was the dodgeball.
That's a growing up. Like we had girls, girls are getting teed off the head with cherry balls. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this was growing. And someone said like it was banned. I was like, you got to be kidding. There's
You're
no
not
way.
allowed to say shit like that while I'm in the middle of a drink of a beer. A cherry bomb,
cherry ball or whatever. Yeah, just
we used to play dodgeball when I went to school with the rubber balls.
Oh,
like those rubber, like the actual like rubber pumped up.
Yes,
like those things, and the dudes would just launch those things. Like I used to be a baseball pitcher for a while there, and I used to see if I could knock someone off their feet.
Yes,
like, that was my goal.
We had a guy. I remember, like, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year, and the varsity quarterback. He was an older brother of one of my friends. Kid had an arm, but he was He was even better basketball player, but he was a quarterback. And I remember him picking up one of the balls. It was like one of these football activities when JV and varsity would do something, and he picked it up and just out of the blue, just beamed it and knocked some kid, just like hit him right in the back of the head, and the kid just goes flat on his face. But on the basketball courts, where it was just like you just hear, where he like hit him so hard that he just did a little skin,
Hey, did he have to go in the blue tent?
We didn't have blue tent. They just laughed. And said,
Yeah.
get up and just you bully him, and he's like, "You cry, dude. It's over for you.
I mean,
you better get up, dust yourself off, and just go back in the corner or something."
I love dodgeball because when I popped on the court, they're like, "We need to put this dude down." I always had like 10 coming at me, like, put him out because I was the pitcher. You know what I mean? I just knew these dudes did not want me to hit them. You know?
I don't know. I just saw that, and I
was throwing 85 in 9th grade, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude, that is crazy fast.
I was a third baseman though in college. So
wow. So
but
you had a rocket of an arm.
Yeah, and I pretty much threw 85 from third the same way or like the same speed as pitching. So there wasn't a wind up or a leg throw or none of that. It was all about 80, 85 miles.
Third base is tough, man. Third base is tough because you got to but some of these guys, I watched third baseman throw to first like it's nothing, but they're just poof, like it's like a rocket just going right to first.
I have scars on my face to this day from high school baseball.
Nav, you'll appreciate this. My pitching or my baseball coach used to have me practice by throwing tennis balls through the back of the backstop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my practice was to take like a bin of tennis balls and throw them through the I don't know if they're hexagons or whatever they are in the back of the backstop. I had to throw like half of the ball or more like through the backstop, like throw it so hard that I was able to get the tennis balls through the backstop.
Yeah. Well, it's like my dad.
That was my practice.
Well, when my dad coached us, my dad had our catcher. And he goes, "All right, I need you to stand over here next to this tin shed, and I'm going to throw about 100 baseballs at you, and you do not move at all from that sitting position. You do not move in any way, shape, or form, or I'm going to throw 30 more."
Yeah.
And Nathan, I looked at him, I said, "Bro, this is how I grew up. So just," he's like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Just don't move and you're done after 30. You know?
Yep.
First throw, boom, he moves. Nope. Let's start it over.
30 more.
30 more. Yep. Throws him at the ground. My old man's trying to rack him. He's trying to do whatever. Do not move. He don't have catcher's gear on either. He just squatted down.
Yep.
Don't need you to move. That's how we learned how to play sports back then.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Don't be afraid of it.
No, 100%. And this is kind of getting back into the teams and stuff. Looking at how the teams are going to be looking to build, they're going to be looking for the guys that fit what they need to do. They're going to be looking at guys that are going to need to move with the team and move in the team's direction. And this is what I've been saying for my Broncos all along. And frankly, I've been saying this for the Raiders for a couple of years and the Chargers for a few years as well, which is the Chargers defense has gotten a lot out of guys that were lesser known players because of the quality of your defensive coordinator and the guys that he's brought in with him.
Right.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, they haven't lived up to what they should have been able to live up to with the quality of quarterback and other players that are on the field.
Yeah. And Richie, I wonder if that takes a step back, losing that coordinator who brought those lesser guys in, where now you're going to have to probably spend capital for bigger name guys
that are able to live up to the same standard because they're not being coached up to the same level. And then for the Raiders, you guys are in a position where you're in a build up and move up mode, like where you're looking to try to take the steps in the right direction to get yourself to where you're needing to go.
There's no pressure whatsoever.
But Kubiak does have pressure because of his father's pedigree as a head coach and winning a Super Bowl and that sort of thing. And so he needs to try to elevate himself to his father's level, which is a fantastic thing to have as a mentor is a Super Bowl winning coach.
I agree and disagree. I think the beauty of this is that Kubiak comes in here, he has no pressure. All he has to do is find the right dudes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to go to the playoffs next year. He doesn't have to do that.
No, I
agree.
know
what I mean? So that's the only
this
way I disagree with it.
Now, do you think Kubiak's hire will be like a 5-year deal or something?
I'm pretty sure it's 5 years at least.
Yeah. And with all that kind of stuff in mind, I just think there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows. The other thing we didn't cover on my Denver Broncos is Joe Brady being hired as the OC officially.
Wait, what?
He's been hired on as the OC of my Denver Broncos.
There's two Joe. Did you say Joe Brady?
Joe Brady's.
Sorry, not Joe Brady. Davis Webb. Sorry, Davis Webb.
I was like
Davis
Joe Brady's the Bills.
You're like, wait, Joe Brady's the head coach of the Bills.
No, sorry, Davis Webb being brought in. Sorry, I got my wires.
Who was
crossed.
being looked at as a head coach? And I think the Broncos were like, no. They were like, Lombardi, you're out, bro. We're keeping Davis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And in my opinion, what you're going to see as a change with the Denver Broncos is I think Webb is going to be brought in, and he's going to be actually calling a fair amount of the plays and certainly having a pretty substantial say in the scheme because the Broncos, while they did okay on the offensive side of the ball, were not spectacular. And I think that the Broncos offense can do better with a upgraded scheme. And I think that Sean Payton as a play caller is quite good, generally speaking, but I do think needs to start stepping aside a little bit in that role and just simply be the head coach. Sean Payton, I think, is getting to an age where he knows he's aging, just generally speaking. And he himself was actually put in a very similar position to Davis Webb when he was under his mentor, where he was eventually converted into a play caller on the offensive side of the ball, and the rest is history for him. So I think Payton very much sees this as history repeating itself. As much as people like to slander and slag on him, Payton is a student of the game. He is. You hear him talk about history all the time, and I think that Payton very much is looking back on this and saying, I have a legacy that I also need to build for myself. So there's some selfishness to this as well.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't lose. I thought it was going to be more guys that you lost, but it was just Lombardi, and I think that's about it, or maybe one or two.
No, we lost Lombardi. We lost our running backs coach, which is fine. Good riddance. We also lost our wide receivers coach, which is also good riddance because he.
That's the other one I was thinking about. Okay.
He wasn't great. Now the surprise was actually our cornerbacks coach that we lost because he basically leveled up a whole bunch of dudes on the defensive side. And so that's going to be an interesting one for my team because he leveled up Pat Surtain, he leveled up Jaquan McMillan, he leveled up, Abrams Drain, who is now arguably a starting caliber cornerback from a late round draft pick. Jaquan McMillan, undrafted free agent. Like, there's a bunch of dudes that
Where did he go?
Leveled up.
Does anybody remember?
That I don't know. I didn't look up. But no. We let him go. He didn't get poached. We let him go.
I wonder if he goes to college or something.
And so either way,
or the Raiders. I don't know. Raiders need a staff.
Did we already give our scores for the Super Bowl?
No.
Well, Richie, it's your show. What do you want to do?
I'm going to say this is 31-14 for the Seahawks.
Easy.
I'm going to go with 30-19 Seahawks.
I got it as a complete ass whooping from the Seahawks, and it's going to end up 37-17.
Okay. Taino, 34-17.
34-17.
I just don't. The matchup is not good. It's just not good at all.
I mean, if you talk to a Patriots fan, like they'll convince you otherwise, but
it's just not good. The matchup's not good at all.
My fear, and I guess we already talked about it, is we've seen him this year already play really in some big games, and he's looked good as Sam. Like people are like, is Sam going to turn back into a pumpkin or whatever?
I don't think so.
I mean, he's played in some big games, and then I've heard that, he played opponents that he was used to, essentially, and the Patriots, got to the playoffs by playing teams they didn't know. And I'm like, no, you look at all the teams you played in your playoffs to get there. Each team had a huge problem on their team, with the Chargers offense was just shouldn't have been in the playoffs. Broncos, no starting quarterback, and then
or starting running back.
The Texans, their offense is just garbage with injuries. And CJ Stroud, I'm on the fence about him.
Look, this isn't even to make excuses because, frankly, the Broncos should have won that game even with the injuries that we had.
Yeah,
so let's just put that aside.
100%,
but
100%.
But the Broncos had their backup quarterback. The Broncos had their backup running back. The Broncos were also down 2 of their wide receivers and then lost another one mid-game.
And one of your offensive line, by the way.
And our offensive lineman, we were on our second or third string dude by the end of the game by the time we were done. And so again, and we were still within striking distance of winning, and frankly should have never lost that game.
Fan for the first time in my life. I'm just
I will say though, guys, I do, and I said this, is that the Patriots turned it up a notch defensively that I didn't see them do. It looked like all season. It seemed like they showed like a different thing.
It's bad play calling, man. Look, Sean, you're gonna go up 10-0. Kick the football, bro. You're up 10-0 now. That's different. That's 2 scores. It's different. That shit, going for that was not a Dan Campbell wouldn't even have done that shit.
So I disagree. And this is why.
Really?
Yeah. Sean Payton made one fatal flaw on that drive, and it wasn't going for it. Sean Payton's issue is that he didn't substitute to bring in a jumbo set on the offensive line. And instead, he ran not even flanking tight ends. He ran tight ends heavy on the right. And the problem is that the Broncos tight ends are not spectacular in any way, shape, or form.
No. That's what they need. A tight end.
And so this is what the problem is, right? Is that you threw in an extra tight end on the one side and they whiffed on their block, and Jared Stidham got killed. You should have brought in Frank Crum on the right-hand side, kept the other tight end in on that side as well, run a jumbo set. You could have run the same play and it probably would have worked, or you could have run even an option with Stidham running, or you could have had the running back actually take the ball and run it around the other side, and he would have gotten the first down as well.
Or you could just kick the field goal and be up 10-0.
Right, but I actually think but I actually think that the Broncos were actually driving the ball down the field very well on that drive overall.
I agree.
And they had 2 kind of mishaps on that last part that weren't necessarily play calling. It was just bad execution. And I think that if Sean forced that ball across that, remember, it was 4th and 1. Like, a quarterback sneak should have actually probably gotten that first down.
Right.
But either way, I think that the Broncos could have gotten that 7 points there with the touchdown and the extra point, and really put that game away at that stage. And instead, they let the Patriots come back.
I'm with you 100%. But the thing about it is, you're in the AFC Championship game. You have an opportunity to go up 2 scores.
Yep.
On this team. I think you do it. I think you go up 2 scores. Make it 10-0.
Point of Peyton getting a little too cute.
No, to me, you're in the AFC Championship game. You're up 10-0. That's different than being.
Who would have thought, though? Who would have thought? I like the whole deal is everybody was like, "Oh, we got the second half," and we saw how the second half turned out. It was a complete,
turned into a. I mean, look,
you had Drake May throwing the ball away on 3rd down. It was just a punt off essentially. It was a possession because they trusted their defense at that point.
There were several times where the Broncos could have won that ball game. And the damnedest thing is, what pissed me off the most was, why aren't you doing what you do? Run the football, for crying out loud. And I'm like, Broncos, you're not the Raiders. Run the football. Let's go. That whole game, I was sitting there going, what are you doing? And then when he didn't kick the extra point, I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be 10-0 in the AFC Championship game? Why wouldn't you not?
I agree.
I think I guarantee you after that game.
And the Patriots have done nothing so far. Nothing.
The Broncos front staff has got to be kicking themselves.
Oh,
those guys. Those guys are sick, like sick to their stomachs about how that game went.
I'm like, now you just pound it down the throat until they show difference.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do that either. And they didn't even try. That's what pissed me off with the Broncos.
I agree.
I was sitting there thinking Richie. I had Richie in my mind while I was watching that ball game. I'm like, this dude's got to be so pissed off that they're not pounding the football.
Amongst other things, yes. And I think that a team like the Broncos have like Frank Crum. We have a couple other offensive linemen that were on the bench that no one will know, so I'll just leave them off the list. But again,
I know who Crum is.
Crum is like the Viking. He's the Viking.
It's the Crum push.
You wanted to bring in an extra lineman and just
my whole point was play ground and pound and just absolutely drive the ball home on the ground in the snow. And instead, Sean Payton's like, no, we're gonna throw the ball like it's backyard football. And that's just stupid. Like, that's just dumb. Like, that is legitimately dumb.
I'm telling you what,
more, it just
you got to admit to me, being up 10-0 like that when the Patriots are doing nothing against your defense, isn't that a better idea?
Like, I like the idea, but I think that if you're looking for the dagger, like Sean Payton was doing what I wanted to do in that moment, which was, what is the way of completely deflating the other team to a point where they could not come back from it? And look, I'm there. Like, that's a finish him moment, like Mortal Kombat sort of deal.
Kick it immediately. I'm like, go up, score.
My comment, and I said, and I will own my stance on it, was I want to see a jumbo set, and I want you to put out the running back, and I want you to run the football, but because you have those extra O-line, you get the first down anyway, and that completely kills the Patriots. Like, their mojo's gone.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, gone. Like, it is done. It is left
I agree.
the building.
But if you don't, what's it do?
Well, let's put it this way. I would much rather.
I'm like,
let
me go up 2 scores instead.
I would much rather go for the jugular with a jumbo set and lose than do what the Broncos did, because the Broncos did a cutesy, stupid play that they didn't execute well, and they lost the down, and they let the Patriots back in the game as a result. So I would much rather say throw jumbo set out there, and if the Patriots are able to blow it up, good on you, man. Good job.
Yeah. So my only thinking is going up 10-0, and the Patriots haven't even sniffed the 50-yard line yet.
Correct.
Going up 10-0, that right there makes them have to rethink what the hell they're doing.
Yep.
Being up only one score, that they go, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
I'm sure we'll talk about this in later episodes. But I mean, just have you guys peeked at like next year's opponents by any chance? We'll probably get into another episode. I have too, and I was just thinking about it. No way do the Patriots have a schedule like that ever again. You know, what they had this year is a historically
most favorable schedule since 1968.
Something wild like that.
Yeah,
I peeked at the Chargers, especially our road schedule, and I'm like, oh my god, like
these Seahawks are gonna blast it. If it doesn't,
we hope. And look, I swear, if the Seahawks let the Patriots get their 7th Lombardi or whatever it is,
second, number 2. Seahawks, number 2.
No. But if the Patriots win,
7.
they could be the number 1 team in the league with Lombardis if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
We don't need
rub
and tug.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should probably end the show there. We've given our score predictions. We've given our team recaps. And then we will get into positional breakdowns as we start looking ahead, as well as a Super Bowl recap in next week's show. We got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for the next coming weeks. Just because
Richie's excited for Bad Bunny, by the way, guys. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
Can I punch him in the head?
And for me, right now, there's far too many questions to even answer. We got nothing right now.
Yeah. So we got a lot of interesting things coming up, some speculatory things like you said, man, like you don't know what your staff's going to look like and that sort of thing. But once the staff gets worked out, you can start seeing maybe who fits, who doesn't, all that sort of thing. We can start getting into the draft. We'll start getting into free agents. We'll get into all of those things as we move on to the offseason, as it goes into full swing. And then obviously the draft is the interesting piece, because that's where you can really make or break your team. If you hit on more draft picks than not, you can really do well.
Yeah.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for the show tonight. If you have comments, leave them down below. If you're joining us live, click that thumbs up button. If you have not already done so, hit the big subscribe button. And over on Navman's and DZ's channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. Like and share their streams as well, because we want more fans just like you.
Hey, can I have one moment to call out the dudes in the chat that are my guys? Taino, Crash Dog, Purple Raiders, Bayou Raider, and Sacktown Raider Mike. Jack Kenna.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ken
is obviously in the chat, so that's great. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Raiders fans, Broncos fans, Chargers fans, and Chiefs fans that join alike. For everybody else, let's get more people in the chat. Let's get things hopping. And until next week, where the West Side's the best side. Peace!
Fast lane when I pass in the street. Bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute,